So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirit, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, fabulous viewers. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here and that you found me, and I do hope these readings resonate with you guys. If this reading does not, I do have playlists there, and all my readings are timeless, so you might find a reading that is more in line with whatever energy frequency you're sitting in. For the rest of you guys who are returning, I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful, and I cannot wait to get into today's reading. Today's reading is going to be a little different than how I generally focus. So we are looking at the person on your mind and how this person, this connection, is coming from their perspective. So it's coming from their perspective and how they think you might be feeling, what they think you might be thinking. Okay, so it could be completely out to lunch, or it could be that they're completely seeing you from an observer's point of view, and maybe you're completely out to lunch of your own shadow. All right, so do not take another person's perspective as truth or gospel. Okay, it's always going to be skewed by their own veil, their own perception, their own shadow. But this is going to give you an insight as to how they're sort of seeing or perceiving you and the connection between you and this person, so that you can have some insight in regards to how to engage or why this person's engaging how they are. Now, we will be actually looking at your feelings and how you are actually feeling and thinking. Okay, and so this might be something that is mixed with your own sort of perceptions, mixed with what spirit is going to pull through as objective truths. Okay, and so I'm going to focus on the back end, sort of being your subconscious that is not seen by you, not understood by you, or maybe something that is needing to be revealed, healed, worked through. And these parts might be very difficult for us to see in ourselves. Okay, so maybe at first blush, that's not me, that's not my energy. And so this is why this is very tricky, okay, because I don't want you taking messages that aren't for you. So intuition is in line with truth, because the intuition is through the heart space, and the heart space has the direct channel to spirit. Okay, so if you're completely in fears, shadow, darkness, and all of that, your intuition might be completely skewed. Okay, so the first part of the reading, if it doesn't sound sort of like something that's resonating with how your person is engaged based on how they're seeing you, then it most likely isn't your pile. Okay, but if you're, again, like out of touch with reality, then no tarot reader is going to be able to help you. Okay, and you might start attaching to a reading that's not even your reading. So if that's the case, this reading isn't for you at all. Okay, caution. And I'm going to put a big fat old trigger warning over here. Okay, and this reading is intended for you to work through your shadow, not to perpetuate some limerence over some person, and also not to perpetuate some fantasy, also not to perpetuate some tarot loop. This reading is encouraging you to take a look at how connections and the dynamic between you and this person is flowing, and then what it is that you can do actively, consciously, in regards to yourself in order to generate change. Now, why you? It's not because you're the problem or you're the reason that things are not working. It's because you're the only one that is here that can control how it is that you're intaking and what you can do and can't do. That's in your control. Your person's not here. I cannot tell them what to do. We cannot control that person or situation, circumstance. The only person you can actively control is yourself. Things that you can control and things you can't, and to know the difference. Okay, but if you're not conscious of what you can do and what you can't do, then you sort of stay in suffering. And so this reading is intended to get you out of a state of suffering. Okay, if you're just coming here saying, that's not my person, it's like, okay, well, then maybe there is no suffering intention in the back end. Okay, this isn't about passing time. This is about healing unconscious shadow that is dancing around within you that you're unaware of, or that needs to be addressed or acknowledged or seen. Okay, now you might be aware of a shadow, but your ego might come through as justification. Okay, it will justify till the cows come home why it needs to be there. Okay, why it's good, or why it's protecting you, or whatever the case may be. And that's ego. Just so you know, it works both ways. Okay, if it can't beat you at something, it's going to want to enforce something. But either which way, if it's coming from the mind, it's most likely going to be egoic. Okay, if it's neutral, observant, and it's just sort of seeing what's happening, then there is no sort of egoic drive, and most likely it's not coming from subconscious. So this is the type of reading I am doing today. If it's not something that you're wanting to listen to, then I'll see you at the next reading. Have a great evening, and I'll see you guys at the next one. And for those of you guys who are interested in this reading, we'll have 4 options to choose from shortly. These are the decks that I'll be using for today's reading, and I will put timestamps below. It'll take you directly to the deck selection, and then all of the 4 piles that will be channeled through your person's perspective of how they think you're seeing or feeling about the connection. And then we will see your actual feelings, and then pull through the advice or the guidance of the shadow. Okay, so this reading could be quite long because we have 4 piles, and because I am chatty. Okay, I'm chatty. It's my channel, and I chat the way I want to. If you want to go fast, go click on the ask button below this video. That puts this in AI format. Okay, if you want it quick. If you want fast burger reading, go to the fast burger button. I'm not fast burger Linda, and it's not that I don't respect your time. It's that this is how I channel. This is how I do it, and it's not going to be for everyone, and I don't give a rat's behind. All right, so beautiful people, go select from the timestamp below, and I will see you guys there. Hello, beautiful people. Option number 1, we have the Jane Austen Tarot. This one doesn't have a box. Okay, option number 2, we have the Slow Tarot. Option number 3, we have the Night Sun Tarot. And option number 4, we have the Surrealist Tarot. So I will leave these 4 with you. Take your time. If you're called to multiple piles, it could be flip. One could be your energy reversed, meaning it's going to be a lot about your person's shadow. Okay, I can't help how it comes through. Don't listen to it if you don't want to. If you're wanting to see about yourself, then go click on another pile. Most likely, if I'm tapped into your person, I could certainly be tapped into you in another pile. Okay, sometimes I get blended piles with multiple energies. I'll do my best to differentiate how many energies. It's up to you to determine whose is what. Okay, keep an open mind, but not so open your brains are falling out and you have no idea what's what. Okay, don't ask me. I don't know. Go ask your intuition, go ask spirit, go develop your intuition, go work through your fears. Don't ask me. I don't know. Okay, beautiful angel, this is the 4 options. I will see you guys at your pick. Option number 1, you guys picked the Jane Austen Tarot. Does this person feel like you're a gift? I feel like I'm receiving a gift here and I'm unwrapping a gift. I do feel like your person feels you're a gift here, okay? But we're going to see how it is that they're thinking that you're seeing and feeling this connection. And then I have pre-shuffled oracle cards. I've not looked at these. I didn't hand pick them. I just shuffled and asked spirit about the shadow part of what needs to be seen and guidance, healing for you, and parts maybe that you're unaware of. Okay, if it comes flipped, then this means that it's going to be your person's shadow part. It's easy for us to attribute other people with problems and we're absolutely perfect and spiritual and ascended. That's not true at all. At all. Okay, and so the shadow might be very hard for us to accept as our own, but I don't want to throw it on you. Okay, so we're going to look at how your person is thinking, you're feeling and seeing. And if this has some resonance to how you could see this person seeing and feeling about you, even if it's completely out to lunch, then it's most likely your pile. Then we're going to look at how you're feeling and thinking, okay? But it's going to be mixed with like a objective sort of look from spirit. So it might be a blend and you might resonate with that back end more than this front end. Okay. I don't know. So just keep an open mind here. Okay. Because it's the first time I'm doing this type of reading. The intention is to give you guidance and advice on a situation connection that might be difficult, or just to improve whatever the shadow is. Doesn't have to be difficult, but when there's shadow, we can't sort of move beyond ourselves. And so this is all about seeing the unseen. Okay, so Spirit, clear and concise message for beautiful pile number 1. They might be left-handed. You might be left-handed. Take that as confirmation. How is pile 1's person they came here about, thinking that pile 1 is feeling and seeing the connection? From pile 1's person's perspective, Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Person pile 1 came here about. How are they thinking pile 1 is seeing and feeling in this connection from their perspective? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. All right. So we have the 5 of Pentacles. Ooh, boy. And we have the 3 of Pentacles. And we have the Magician, Virgo, Gemini energy. We have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And we have the Hangman, just Pisces energy. And then we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. And the Devil in reverse, Capricorn energy. And I don't know if it's Pisces energy. The Fool in reverse, which is Aquarius. And we have the Ace of Cups, and we have the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. Okay, this messaging comes through very clear, but I'm going to sit with this energy and then channel what this is. All right, so give me a minute. I want to get ink all over my hands again. What's under 5 Pentacles? We have the 8 of Cups that's in reverse. All right. Okay, beautiful angels. How does your person think that you're feeling? Remember what I said, you could flip it if you want, but I do feel this is most likely your person. Okay, how they're saying, they could definitely be projecting on you, or like I said, they could be very objective, and maybe you're out to lunch. Okay, keep an open mind. You don't know everything. Okay, and the truth could be somewhere in the middle. This is why we're going both sides. Okay, so your person here is feeling like you're feeling without, like you're really feeling without here, okay? And they are feeling it's that you're thinking it's because of their inability to invest in this connection. Like you want to be able to work with this person. You want to be able to create something with them at one point in time, okay? That was your energy. And now they're seeing you as maybe giving up, or maybe there's a separation, or maybe there has been you pulled back energetically because you're coming into the realization, or you will be coming into this realization. This could be a big fear of theirs, that they're too surface, that this person might even be too hot and cold. This person might just show up, but has no depth to them. They could be somebody here who just hasn't been able to pick up their weight, hasn't been nurturing to you, has left you out in the cold, has been somebody here who has the capacity to invest in you. This person could be somebody who has toxic ways, or who has damaged this connection, might have damaged the trust between you and them. You're seeing them differently. Or there's lots of fear here that you're seeing them differently now, where all of a sudden you're going to start to see this connection as the things that aren't good, specifically where no matter how much maybe you have put in the past, it hasn't amounted to anything. And like you're going to now all of a sudden be on the flip side. I give up. I don't want to put in any energy. I don't want to invest any more time in this. And what I do want to do is take my power back to manifest something for myself here, because I feel like it's not getting anywhere. This person feels like you see them as someone who isn't wanting a new beginning, or doesn't want to take a risk or a chance on you, or change something about themselves. Like they're stuck in their way, and that they're needing to see maybe this connection differently. And then you guys could start working together, and that this person's been stuck to something. Okay, maybe an addiction, maybe their old lifestyle, maybe to whatever mindset that has held them to their ways, it's like their way of being, which how you're seeing them, according to them, is someone who is, again, this like Knight of Wands energy, or maybe just somebody who is lazy even, or who just doesn't want to show up, or who doesn't take initiative, who's not confident enough to show up, who's had every opportunity to step up and to treat you in a way here or this connection to show like it matters. It's like this person hasn't shown like it matters, and it's only a matter of time before you walk away or have already walked away, or just emotionally or completely upset, feeling left out in the cold, and that you're going to start to focus on yourself. This person sees you as somebody who wants some form of commitment, some form of structure, some form of guarantee here in a way, or you want to see it in action. You want this person to show you some form of commitment, some form of it's okay here, and that your own understanding, your own idea of what you want and desire within a connection is now overriding what you've experienced with this person. And so it's like, I want to choose things in my world that are going to reflect the things that I know to be in line with my values, or what I've been, what my upbringing told me that a connection should look like, or a relationship should be, or something that makes me feel better and makes me feel loved. And that if it requires you having a new beginning, or being single, or just like creating that for yourself, then that's where you're headed to. But that you've been maybe in an energy of putting up with this person for some time. Like sitting there emotionally dissatisfied, feeling without, feeling unloved, feeling rejected, feeling like, I guess now, this person just can't do it. They just can't do it, won't do it. Or maybe they didn't even try to do it. And in some cases, they just gave up, or they didn't even try on me. They didn't even want to take a risk on me. I feel let down. I feel abandoned. I feel like this person just didn't do it. This is how they're seeing that you're feeling. Okay, so like I said, this is mostly about us diving into your shadow. Okay, so if you're here about your person because you have an obsession, this is probably not your reading for you. This is all about you. Now we're going to look at how you're feeling and what you're thinking. Okay, now I don't know mostly if this is going to come through from your perspective, but I do want spirits to give us an indication of some objective truth, so that we can really dive into the shadowy parts and your guidance. Okay, so if this is true, how you're feeling based on this person, they feel like you're a gift. And so the only thing we can think here is that this person, looks a gift horse in the mouth. Like they're treating you in a way here that is emotionally unsatisfactory to you because of a lack of nurturance. That's what it seems like they're not taking care of you. Or that you're seeing that today. They're not saying I'm not taking care of you. They think that you think that they're not putting in the energy or the effort in the way that you're thinking you need. So let's see. Spirit for pile number 1. How is it pile 1 is actually feeling and thinking here? Actual feelings and thinking of pile 1 in this connection. Pile 1's actual feelings and what they're thinking in this connection. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of this connection, spirit. Pile 1's actual feelings or actual thoughts right here, right now, spirit. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message and this connection for the greatest and highest good of this connection. Do feel sideways. Thank you so much, spirit. Thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here. Thank you, spirit. So we have 5 wants, conflicted, different page on a different page, maybe having different values, maybe battling yourself, like reasons to stay or reasons to go, like challenged here. Okay, King of Wands in reverse. So King of Wands in reverse could be a lack of vision, a lack of ambition, and you may be conflicted by this. Like this person doesn't feel strong enough to want me, or strong enough to have a desire, to have a vision about where this could go, and it could be conflicting with what you want. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Page of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, and the King of Swords. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and the Sun, Leo energy, and the Queen of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And then in the sideways position, we have the Wheel of Fortune. And we also have the 6 of Cups in reverse. Okie dokie. This message also is coming through quite clear, but let me see. And then we have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. So let's see. Okay, beautiful people. One thing that seems to be pretty accurate on both sides or consistent on both sides was I think you're still engaged with this person, because this person was seen as an 8 cups in reverse, like emotionally dissatisfied and maybe emotionally withdrawn, but still putting up with the situation. I feel like there's something about you putting up with some form of situation that's unpleasant here for you. Like, I don't feel you're emotionally satisfied. So that is accurate. You're emotionally dissatisfied in this situation. I do feel like you feel like, of course, if these cards are right, you feel conflicted here, because it's like, does this person realize or understand, and will they come to understand and realize? And that's going to determine where this goes. Like, how much is it within this person's ability to take action and communicate and within their control to do and say? And how much is it just like sort of the universe sort of dictating why this person is not in a position to engage? Because we did see the devil there. So it could be a circumstance, but is it a real reason? It's almost like you want to justify why this person cannot, there are reasons for not doing. So one thing is certain, they're not doing. Okay, either they're not showing a vision, they're not showing an interest, they're not taking action, they're not, okay, and they're not because they need to sort of do the fool thing, like take a chance or leave baggage, let go of something, and they're in devil energy, okay? So it's like you're coming from the position that's very conflicted and moving on from this person, like, will things get better? If I leave them to their own devices, are they going to realize or recognize some great truth here? Will they finally take action on some great truth? And are they intellectual enough to understand what's going on here and wants to make a difference about it? But it's like they have to have this desire and this ability to want to show up and be engaged here. And this would require them to not be so held back. And they could be very held back in how they're expressing themselves or the action they're taking, or just, again, the world that they're hanging on to is like, they got to acknowledge something here. And you feel like this person might be emotionally immature, or like they're not giving enough emotionally. It's like bare minimum here. It's like they're just sort of scratching the surface emotionally when it comes to fulfilling you, and it's not doing it for you. It feels very lopsided in a way here that might feel like you're really thirsty for emotional depth with this person. Feels sort of dry. Maybe you even feel like this person is sort of maybe all talk, but it's like all talk about things that don't really connect to emotions, or things that don't really connect to improving this connection. And it's like a lot of maybe you're still in a lot of communication with this person, but it's like it's giving off some form of an avoidance here. It's like, let's avoid getting deep with the emotions. Let's keep it surface. Let's talk about everything but that, and maybe like busy activity, but let's not have any discussion in regards to my vision about where we're going to take this, or where I want to go with you, or whether I am even going to explore you, or explore this connection, or what I'm going to do with the thing that I'm hanging on to, or why I'm held back. Like, this person is, according to you, unavailable to show up here, and could definitely be more focused on themselves potentially. Okay, but for some of you guys, this person with the devil there could be in a situation which makes them unavailable. So are they in the military? Are they like geographically not present? Are they in another commitment? Whatever this commitment is. It could be a marriage, could be a relationship. It could be an obligation that doesn't make them physically present. Okay, or just their emotional immaturity makes them unavailable in this connection in a way that's going to satisfy you. It's creating conflict. So I think there could even be this, like, they're present, because I feel this person could definitely be present like a lot, but it doesn't matter how present they are, when they're not present, like when they're they could be, like I say, have a lot to say, but it's like their emotions are unpresent or not present. Seems something about being emotionally unpresent. Okay. And so you're wanting to obviously find and seek your own happiness, but it's like it's coming to light, and maybe it's like coming to the point where it's like, my happiness now matters more. Or I see how I got to be compassionate to myself, or I see like the most loving thing is for me to get happy, or the most loving thing for me is to be clear about this, or the most loving thing I can do is acknowledge and speak this truth, or like come to the table with this this issue that I'm having and maybe try to communicate this with this person. It's like I could see this truth, or I could see it clearly, that there is an issue here that it might have been very challenging, and I want to shine light on this thing, or I want it to be seen or known by you, or I want it to be acknowledged by you. It's like my happiness is my driver here, but I'm having a very hard time, like forgetting about this connection, or walking away from this connection, or even like there's something about this connection that's making me feel like I can't move on from it, And so there's definitely something here about like a childhood circumstance that might be driving, and it's a nice overlap because we're gonna look into the subconscious. Like if this is in the Six of Cups in reverse, this is like a childhood experience or something of past. So maybe my very first relationship, or relationships of the past, or my childhood in general, or relationships that I've observed in the past. Something about this has created some sort of dynamic here that I'm starting to see and understand as to where I'm emotionally giving of myself. And it could be, like I could now be seeing that I was dressing it up maybe as the most loving thing, or a compassionate thing, or giving thing. But really the truth of the matter is that it is not necessarily love, that it's just I'm an empath, or I'm compassionate, or that I'm very emotional here. And I am seeing this, and maybe I was crossing my wires, thinking the longer I stay in emotionally draining, dissatisfied situations, the more I loved. There's something about the past here that's creating some sort of dysfunction, because nobody should be this conflicted, especially if they believe that their partner isn't have any sort of ambition or game plan, or is emotionally sort of too unfulfilling. Now, this could be the shadow. This person could be completely normal, meaning showing their emotion in a normal way. But if we have some sort of trauma, which I'm picking up from this, it's like it doesn't matter how much over the top this person could be. It's always never enough, It could be someone who wants drama. I want drama. That's this 5 wands. So I create dramas because I need to be shown every minute of every day. How special am I? How much do you love me? How deep is it? How deep is it? Do you love me at my worst? Like, do you love me when you suffer? Like, if we're suffering, do you love me more? That's what this is giving me. Okay. So I don't know. Let's take a looky-loo. And if it triggers you, okay, Dr. Seuss, then it's not your reading today. Don't be forced. I'm not trying to trigger you, okay? And this is how I channel it. And I definitely feel like the best thing you can do is come when you're prepared, wanting to resolve whatever this is, because you want healthy, balanced relationships, even if it means not with this person, And like I say, truth somewhere in the middle. This isn't a one-sided fix. If you fix self, if you see all this stuff, it could improve relationship, or it could just be something that the other person doesn't want to fix. And so then it's time to sort of move on. Okay. But I'm talking to you about what you can do for self. Okay. So let's take a look. We have self-preservation disguised as self-sabotage. Interesting. 78 or the number 16. No, not 16, is it? No, 4. Yeah, 15. 15, sorry. So that's devil energy, Capricorn energy. Self-preservation disguised as self-sabotage. Interesting. Okay. And then we have Neptune, number 9. There's that watery energy, that Queen of Cups energy I'm feeling here from this Neptune. Pisces. Some sort of fantasy pulling through with Neptune, you guys. Suppression. Express. Don't suppress. Authenticity is freeing. Restraint, repression, and censorship. Okay. And then we have surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. That's that 6 cups in reverse, okay? Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. Alrighty, I'm getting earth energy now. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. So Capricorn coming through strong. And like I said, Pisces with this. Okay, and then we have everything changes. A soft, radiant a soft light radiates from my heart. It illuminates those around me and transforms every situation I encounter. I maintain a positive attitude in spite of any difficulties I may perceive. No matter the circumstances, I remain a source of true joy. Everything changes when it is bathed in the light of the divine. Beautiful. Lots of trees. You guys might get a lot of reprieve from walking in nature. And even this, look at this scenic mountain, oceanside. Beautiful. And then we have drowning. So a lot of watery energy. Even with this Pisces, you're feeling watery energy. And we have a lot of earth. So we're making a lot of mud, a lot of sludge here with the earth and the water. Okay. And then we have denial, 35 and 8. Defense mechanism, ego level. So reality denial, that's what we're getting with this Neptunian energy. Okay, disapproval, refute, negation, avoidance, which we were picking up avoidance. Okay, refusal of weakness. And type 8, the challenger instinctive center between strength and weakness. 8 is the number of ego, but it's also the number of courage and strength. 8 is Aquarius and Leo energy pulling through. Okay, 8s are all about movement, change, attainment, about authority, manifestation, about leadership, abundance, and goals. Okie dokie. And then we have the child, successor, heir, boy, girl, offspring, and descendant. Number 2, character, ego level. Okay, so 2s are all about balance, duality, choices. So it's high priestess energy, which is Pisces, and justice energy, which is Libra here. It's also judgment energy, which is an awakening. Okay, but the child could definitely be the inner child, and we have a lot of root chakra here, and then we have a lot of the white, which could be talking about the authentic self. So let me sit with this energy, tap into what's going on here, and then we will, sorry, I want to do it like this. We will communicate what you're being sort of shown here by spirit. I don't feel like to channel that way for some reason. Okay, that feels better. Okay, beautiful angel. Okay, listen to this in a way here that it isn't making you feel like you've done anything wrong at all, okay? You're not doing anything wrong. This is talking about something that might not be understood by you or why you do what you sort of do. Or maybe you know what you do, but you're not sure the reason why. I think that's most likely it. Okay? I feel you're a very empathic, beautiful, watery energy here, okay? Even though some of you guys might be an earth sign, because there's something about being grounded, practical. You want stability and security. Okay, you can even be a water sign here, but security and stability really, really matter to you. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, okay, there's a situation in the past. For all of you guys, a situation in the past for sure, but for a lot of you guys, it's like a childhood abandonment wound, okay, and we throw that around so easily. But what this means is that there was a situation in my childhood at some point in time where my body didn't feel safe. It didn't feel safe, and it stored this memory. And now in relationship, it comes up, and it might need some sort of a validation that is even maybe extreme in order to silence that part of me that feels like it's not secured. Okay, and so let's just say for the argument's sake, I do feel like your person does seem like somebody here who could do a whole lot of things better, who could definitely show up and do a whole bunch of things. Okay. But like I said, they're not here and you're here. And I feel like it's exasperated by the fact that you're really feeling some sort of way, unless this connection is like completely cemented. It's like they got to completely cement it for me, Otherwise, I feel just thrown about and completely like in some sort of energy where I feel like out of control here in some way. And then we justify it as, like everyone needs to be shown this and that and all of this sort of thing. Okay. And spirit is saying, yes, we do all deserve to be experiencing support from our partner in a certain way, but we have to be able to give it to ourselves. This energy that I'm reading here is not healed. Okay, not healed at all. And how this comes out is instead of me communicating my needs, what I need you to do, or what's going to make me feel in a certain way, I either won't say anything and then gets totally fed up and then blow up about it, or expect you to know about it. Like, why should I have to say that doing this and that is like the right thing to do, or means you care, or whatever? And it's like the ego, remember what I said at the beginning of the video, the ego wants to tell us why we're right, or why the victim story is justified. And nobody's a mind reader, and everyone has different upbringing. And so one person's normal bar could be another person's completely abnormal bar, and vice versa, and one really low and run really high. And this is why communicating our needs, our love language, what makes us feel in a certain way. And we could say, well, I already said I wanted commitment and stability. And I'm saying it's not even about this. But what it is about is the subtle things we might need to feel safe and secure. So we might not need marriage exactly. This person needs to commit to me, plan this long-term family, kids, where's it going? Where are we going to live? Like, to me, that's totally like the inner child saying, I want roots, I want to build. And if it's not going to make me feel this way, then I feel totally out of control. And so this person is making me feel like I'm not getting what I need here. Okay, no, like I said, doesn't mean that they're not emotionally avoidant, not showing up and all this stuff. But this is what's coming through the shadow here. Okay, and so this type of a person is like you, okay, if I'm reading this as being your energy, is like, I won't acknowledge what I'm needing in those moments. And that the other person's going to say or do what I need them to do in that moment. Okay. And then all those moments sort of stack up. But I'm so focused on not those moments because I'm not present now, remember. I'm living with trauma of the past. And so I could remember what's happened in the past, or I could be completely, in this case, focused on the future. So I don't have to address what's going on in the present moment. So this energy is not present at all. At all, at all. And I think that this energy is so focused on where's it going, how's it going to be stable, all of this commitment speaks. Okay, now this doesn't mean we have to be in polygamous relationships and that, man-childs who are players have to be your spouses. This is all talking about not looking at planting a tree like the tree growth of like 20 years from now and looking at this present moment of what's going on with you and this person. And then communicating what I need right now, what I need right now, what I need right now. That's not happening. And so this person isn't really given an opportunity to, in the present moment, sort of understand what they're needing to do. They don't know what they need to do. And it could be that they're just, yes, emotionally immature, like you saw them as a Page of Cups. They don't know what to say or do, or they have a hard time getting deep, or they're just not present, And it's like, well, how do I do it? Well, obviously you're having a relationship with a complete ghost type person. They're either talking to you, messaging you, showing up in some way. They were a King of Swords. There's some sort of dialogue. So what this is saying is like, those are the moments. Those are the moments where we have to not sell ourselves or sabotage ourselves. Okay, the self-sabotage is like all those moments are being self-sabotaged when we're not present, when we don't speak about what we need that person to do to be emotionally present, because all of those moments are going to build up to this tree. So it doesn't matter if you're married. It doesn't matter how long you've been there. It doesn't even matter if this person's going to say, I have a vision of us living in France, building this, whatever, 20 years from now. Like that won't matter so much because the stability in the connection and the part of the inner child that needs to be silenced, that needs to feel secure, is going to be happening over time in all of these present moments. All of these present moments are going to build that tree and that security, if this person is workable. Okay. Because again, I'm not seeing their energy, but it's definitely not going to work when one person's in this energy. So if this energy changes to be more present and acknowledging in the moment when they could say their needs, express what they're wanting to see, not again through blame, you're doing this, you're not doing that, but actually saying, hey, here's what I'm needing, here's what I'm feeling, here's in this moment, as the moment happens, not bringing up the whole luggage of the past, not when I finally snap and break and it comes like floodgates. You didn't do this and you didn't do that and you didn't do this, that, and the other. And the only reason why we would be in fantasy and not acknowledge it in that moment is because we don't want to be rejected. I don't want to bring it up in case I'm being rejected, in case it doesn't do the thing. And so I'd rather not face it. It's like an abandonment that doesn't want to experience rejection. And so it rejects itself before it even gets a chance to be rejected. So I don't open up. So I don't ask for the thing, because what happens if this person doesn't do it? What happens if this person won't acknowledge it? What happens, and so we're totally not wanting to experience the rejection again. And then we're just putting it off to some future ideal thing that this person must do or must say right now. And if that person, has their own triggers and traumas, and they might have fears of like committing 20 years down the road or 10 years or 5 years or whatever. And it's like, no, I'll be present with you. But what you want from me is unreasonable. I don't know where I want to be 20 years from now, And this inner child's like, it's the only way I'll feel secure. It's the only way I'll feel secure. It's the only way. It's like, no, it's not. You're just suppressing what's going on with you right here, right now. So you might get very overwhelmed, And I feel with this energy, it's like highs and lows. It's like, I feel really rejected, and then I feel so emotional. I feel so emotional here. It's like, yes, because we need to deal with our emotions presently as they're flowing through us without having to default to thinking of what we can do to secure it in the future. It's like, I don't want this to go away, or I don't want to experience the down of it, and so I'm going to lock it in as secure as I can, as heavy as I can right now, because what happens if it gets taken away from me, and this is too extreme. It's like going from this wound to like 20 years from now. And it's like, no, sit with the discomfort, sit with what's fluid, sit in the present moment. We don't know. We really do not know. And this trauma must be looked at and resolved before we can decide what we want to do 20 years from now. Because it could be that this person is completely not the person. This person could be completely not wanting to heal their wounds. But this person that I'm reading here, when I say this person, like this isn't the person you're dealing with. They could not want to heal their wounds. They could be the type of person that's not going to do anything. But once this person that I'm reading right here heals this, they can see then clearly. It's not through the eyes of default, like I'm going to attach to someone that's going to heal this inner child wound, and it has nothing to do with that person at all. It has everything to do with myself and my security and my stability. This type of person would marry someone that just sort of gives them security, but it doesn't do anything else, And it's like, but I feel secure and I'll feel safe here. And so even if it's just like a thing here, it's like, well, that's not what spirit wants you to experience. Spirit wants you to experience love, and love is fluid, and love, it also feels like something that, like it isn't fixed in any sort of way, because love breathes, love accepts, love breathes and love accepts. And so there's something here about, no, love must be certain and fixed and solid and secured for whatever. And it's like, no, then that's not love. That's just security because of abandoned wound. That's just make my inner child that doesn't want to feel abandoned feel okay. And this person isn't your therapist, And so there's something about the true self that we haven't been honest about ourselves with, The real reason why we're looking for some form of a security here in another, and it doesn't even have to be like, maybe we're well off. Maybe we have our own, like our own finances, our own roof. We're able to self-function. But it's like, well, I don't need someone to provide my security or my stability. But it's like, no, you need someone here to provide this emotional security here that we feel we can't let anyone in unless they're like rock solid, But it's not in a reasonable way. Like, obviously we need to protect ourselves in a way if there are people who are unregulated, but there's no need to have these types of boundaries here that don't allow anyone in the present moment at all, unless I know for a fact that it's going to be like this energy that doesn't emotionally sort of make me feel any sort of way. Because this person could feel emotionally dysregulated very easily, where other people who don't have this trauma might not feel the emotional intensity that this person does, And so we might be attributing the emotional intensity and putting it on the other person. That person's a Knight of Wands. That person's emotionally immature. That person is not doing it. That person. It's like, okay, yes, there's about fitting together and not fitting together. Some people are one way, too fluid, too whatever, and some are a little bit like more order and structure. However, this is unreasonable. This is a suppression of true self. This is a denial of something that is suppressed here that is really trying to latch on to something secure emotionally before this person can actually enjoy the present moment. Like letting themselves feel, being honest with their emotions, letting themselves actually feel the other person out. Let them feel. It's scary to let someone feel because it's like, whoa, what happens if I let them feel now and then all of a sudden they don't want me, or all of a sudden they leave, or all of a sudden it's like tomorrow they have another relationship, or there's a lot of fear around this because this is what we've experienced. So as long as we're in that, we're going to keep reacting this way. Then we get very overwhelmed, So pile number 1, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. This is just bringing us to the light. But how do you heal this thing? The first thing you do to heal this thing is acknowledge it, It's not just the other person. And when we see that, yes, okay, this is my shadow. It's no longer an ego. It's now, I could still have those fears, but I see them, I still do those things. But now I'm aware of it and it starts to slow down. The more we shine our light of awareness, consciousness on it, we start to see it in action. Now, we don't got to force to be different. We don't got to be anyone but ourselves. But when we acknowledge it and we see it in action, it's natural. It's in the human nature to want to correct whatever is not right. What doesn't feel right, what isn't in flow. And so it'll be the natural healing process to acknowledge it and then to right any wrongs as they come through without resistance and forcing. It's like, oh, there I go. I'm doing this thing. And here comes the nervousness. Here comes me thinking about, the future rather than dealing with what's going on right in front of me. So we acknowledge this thing is no longer in the shadow, but it must be looked at. And it can't be deflected onto someone else is the problem. Someone else is immature. Someone else can't commit. Someone else is being this, that, and the other, And like I said, they definitely could be. And then they could be just to show you this, But I think once you see this, I think it tones it down to the other person. And maybe the other person just couldn't do a 20-year plan, or couldn't commit to something here that the inner child was setting some sort of bar. And maybe there could be harmony here. Or harmony could be learned or experienced if we could find a middle ground. But I feel like this is like, here's my bar, and someone else is maybe, here's my bar. And like, we can't even meet a middle ground. So it's like, okay, I'm willing to work through this and see where I get. And now my bar moves a little, Doesn't mean lowering your standard. It means now that I know no one's responsible for responding to this wound, then my energy will be different. Then I could work differently. Then my emotions come out different. Then I'm not so charged because I feel like there's an explosive sort of energy that comes through here because of suppression. When we suppress long enough, boom, we have an explosion, There's a lot of like with this denial and this Neptune and suppression, like not being in the present moment. And it's all because of what we experienced in the past. And we don't want to relive that. We don't want to experience it, or at least the body, even if we say, well, my childhood is okay. We could really think that, but it's like, no, the body remembers. The energy signature that's happening within you, some sort of fragmented thing is within there, needing to be seen and experienced, But it's clutching to an idea that it thinks that the future is the thing that's going to heal it and make it feel okay. And I guarantee you this won't. It's just an idea, a thought, because it's like, no, this person could still be emotionally unavailable, even though they say, yeah, let's secure this thing, Yeah, I have a plan, 30-year plan, forevermore. It doesn't matter. So this is not going to make you feel any more secure. This is all about feeling secure. And we could feel secure in the present moment. We could feel emotionally secure in the present moment. That's all we can do. We can't guarantee a future emotional security. Okay? There's no way to secure future emotional security, no matter how many T's we cross and I's we dot, So this is your reading, pile number 1. I hope this helped you, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You guys picked the Slow Tarot, and we're looking at the person on your mind, how they think you feel and think, coming from their perspective. Okay, and then we're going to be looking at how you actually feel and think, and then a look at your shadow, what you might not be seeing or understanding about yourself and why you're sort of engaged the way that you are engaged. Okay, so when it's our shadow, it is very, very difficult for us to know, and we could completely be like, that's not me. That's not my energy at all, So this is why we're doing this beginning part. If it resonates, it's most likely your shadow, though I'm not wanting this to be projected onto you. If you don't resonate with this at all, then okay. But remember, the ego's job is to disassociate from this, Okay, the shadowy part. This whole reading is for healing the shadow, for understanding why we do what we do. Your person's not here. I cannot tell them what to do, even if they're completely out to lunch. This is all about empowering yourself, what's within your control, understanding yourself through understanding your shadow so that you're consciously aware of how you engage in relationship. Okay, so that's what this reading's about. So I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on your person. This is all about you. Okay, so if it's crisscrossed, this is going to be flipped. It's going to start with what you think your person feels and thinks, and then their actual feelings and thoughts, and then this will be their shadow. You don't got to listen to it if you don't want. Okay, it's up to you. And I don't do anything other than just ask spirit questions. Okay, so let's ask spirit together. Spirit for pile number 2. They're wanting to know the person that they came here about in this connection, how it is this person thinks that pile 2 is feeling and thinking at this time. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile number 2 and the person they came here about. Please protect me and the viewer and this connection as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. How does the person they came here about think that they're feeling and seeing this connection at this time? Thank you so much, Spirit. Now remember, this person could be completely out to lunch, okay? So you should resonate with this, though, being something that your person would perceive, whether it's accurate or not. Clear and concise message for beautiful pile 2 regarding this connection. We have the 10 of Swords, and it is in reverse. It's that one. All right. Love this deck, by the way. The art in this deck. The pages are absolutely adorable in this deck. Okay. So we have the 4 of Wands. I don't read bottom of the deck reverse. And then under 4 Wands, we have the Magician. Virgo, Gemini, and the Magician is in reverse. Okay. And then we have the Death card, Scorpio energy in reverse. Death in reverse, 10 swords in reverse. Interesting. And then we have the 5 of Pentacles, and it is in reverse. And we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. And I guarantee you these cards are not all in reverse here, okay? The World is clarifying this Knight of Cups in reverse. And we have the Hierophant in reverse, Taurus energy, clarified by Strength in reverse, which is Leo energy. And we have Temperance in the upright, Sagittarius energy. And under the Magician, we have the Knight of Pentacles, and he is in reverse. This one always reminds me of my dad, because I have a picture of my dad, exactly sort of like this, with the green car in the background, dressed in the 1970s attire, smoking a cigarette or drinking a beer. One or the other. I don't know what he's doing because I lost the picture, but this totally reminds me of my dad. Anyway, okay, let me get into this energy. This person could definitely be a parent, okay? With this dad energy I'm feeling here. Okay, so you can flip-flop this energy, okay? Because I'm going to read it in one way, but it is the predominant energy that should be resonating here of how your person thinks that you're feeling, okay? There's like an energy here of your person being in a situation or a circumstance. It could be a marriage or a fixed community right now. And that this person, in order for them to make themselves available, they have to release and come out of that. It's like they have to put an end to their world, the world as they know it. And the only thing that's maybe has been experienced here has been this person more involved in that world than being able to show up here. And that's sort of the downfall. And the only way for you guys to be able to come together for this to work would be for this person to acknowledge the change and release the past and put it behind them so that they can show up emotionally and so that they can show up practically. So in two ways, this person can't really show up. Emotionally, this person is unavailable to show up here because they're in another situation here that they haven't accepted the end of. And so they can't give to the situation. They can't invest. And that they are like in a situation that isn't pleasant according to you. Like, it's not pleasant. It's like a situation I don't like, or doesn't feel good, or like I can't do anything sort of about the situation. And it might be a situation where they feel like, where you feel that they feel that it's like, I'm not loved there, or like I don't have any love here, and it's like, but I have to stay there. Maybe it like, I don't know. There's reasoning, all sorts of reasoning here. I don't have money to get out, or I'd lose all my money, or it's depending on me to give to it in this way, and so there's nothing left over that I can invest here. Like, this sort of a thing. Like it seems like it's a family situation or situation. It could even be like, my children depend on me. Okay, and I'm saying it that way. Of course, children would depend on them, but I don't know how realistic or logical, aside from maybe it being stemmed somewhere from the ego, making reasons to hang on to the past. Because as far as this energy goes, and they could just be saying that you're thinking this, is like, this person has a hard time accepting the end of something. This comes through my readings too. They could have experienced the death of a spouse. It's like, but I can't now accept the change of anything here. And it's like, well, how long are you going to be saying that you got to stay where you're at because of the death of a spouse here? Like, well, my family just expects me to be single forever, or like I had a divorce. And it's like, okay, so you had a divorce. Like, when are we going to move on with our life? Or when are we going to build anew? Or when are we going to be able to move beyond what we've experienced in the past? Seems to be a lot of the past is now over, or the past is something this person is having a very difficult time putting behind them. And it's like, this person thinks that you think that they're not courageous enough, or don't have the strength enough to face this change and just make the change that they need to. Like put an end to it. It's like, I can't face these people, or this family expects something from me, or this is what society expects from me, or I was always brought to do the morally just thing, and so this is what I have to do here. I can't go against what people expect, or what my tradition believes, or my culture would say, and it's like they're not showing the strength in this area. And it's that this person would needs to work through this, that you're saying this person's going to work through it. At some point in time, they're going to get through it. At some point in time, then they could show up, then we can build, like, then they'll be in a position to do it. But right now, this person cannot. Their circumstance doesn't let them. They aren't in a position to do anything, but they will, they will. And they're also seeing it as you're sort of seeing them getting through this at some point in time. That they will successfully get through it. But right now, there's an inability to do so, and an inability for it to just like for them to shut that door. It's like, I don't know, there seems to be an excuse here, like when I'm in a position to do so, or when I finally get that job, or when the money finally gets released, or I don't know, And it doesn't really show here that you are saying that they're using excuses, but it's coming through in this way because they're picking up, or at least this is their perspective, is that you know that this situation is something that's already done. It's like, you already know it's done. I don't have to convince you that it's done. Like, it's done. It's emotionally unfulfilling. That it's been over. It was hurtful. That I had to process it, but I'm still in that environment for whatever reason they tell you. And it's like, right now, I'm not in a position, so I need to heal from this thing, or I need to gain my financial strength, or I need to work up the courage to build the thing that I need to, because right now I don't have the thing. I don't know. I don't have the divorce paper. I'm not in a position to buy a house, or I'm not in the position to move, or I'm not in a position to leave the child, or I don't know, whatever the thing is here, and that that they will. But right now it's like stunted, And that's why you guys can't come together in some way. Some of you guys might see this connection as your twin flame with the Four of Wands. Not that this person would say that, but it's coming through as sort of an indicator here. Okay, so I don't know. It seems to me like this person is taking your energy and like saying, you already know, and it's justifying why I got to do and be where I am. Like, you already sort of, even though it's hurtful, maybe even you don't want it to be the case, but you see that I'll overcome it. You see that I'm in it. You see that what I'm doing here. And so, You know, like that's what it's coming through. Like that's enough because you already know. So I don't need to do anything because you already know I'm in a tough position. You already know that I can't. You already know. All right. So let's see how you're feeling. It's a lot of justifying why they got to stay there, because as far as the energy I'm picking up, it's like, I think this person actually, I don't know. Let's see. Spirits, pile number 2. How are they actually feeling and thinking about their connection? Pile number 2 and the person they came here about. How's pile 2 actually feeling about this connection? What are they actually thinking about this connection? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of this connection. Spirit, please help me to channel in a way pile 2 will understand what is being communicated to them. Alrighty, so we have the Hermit in reverse, Virgo energy. It is clarified by the 9 of Wands. Strength now in the upright, Leo energy. Death now in the upright, Scorpio energy, clarified by the 6 of Swords in reverse. And the 10 of Swords in the same position, but now it's in the upright. Why is strength here? Why is strength here? We have the 2 of Wands, and then why is death here? Okay, I'm leaving that there. I'm leaving that there and that there. All right. We have Ace of Pentacles. These 3, 4 Wands in reverse, the Fool, Aquarius energy, and the Knight of Swords, clarifying this 2 Wands. And then here, clarifying the Death and the 6 of Swords in reverse is the 6 of Cups. Interesting, 6 of Cups was in this position for pile 1, although it was in reverse. And clarifying this 10 Swords, we have the 10 of Cups, and it is in reverse. Now, these 3 cards will reveal shortly. Let me just channel what this is first, and then we'll see. What's under this Page of Pentacles? We have the 2 of Swords. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, interesting energy. It just feels like an energy of acceptance, you know? It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt at all, but it's acceptance. It's like, this is exactly it. I feel like you're pretty logical. Okay, you're like saying, there's a situation here. Or me and my person are at a stalemate, or this person, okay? They can't get out of their situation. And they're as valid as I am as valid here. But that doesn't mean that I don't want the new beginning. Now, if you had a choice, your new beginning would be with this person. But you understand that this person, whether they're justified or not, is irrelevant. It's like this person is in a situation that has them stuck. But that doesn't mean that you can't have a new beginning. I think you want the new beginning, but you're also logical enough to know just forcing a new beginning, it can't just happen like this. There's something about having to work through acceptance here, you know? It's like, I got to work through acceptance. I have to be courageous enough to choose my own path and accept the fact that this isn't working out. And there's an energy here of like, like knowing this person could be an ultimate happiness for you. But it's like, it doesn't matter how much happiness I could find in this person. And so there's a little part of you here that's like, you know, I wish I could have more impact in that situation, but the truth remains that there's nothing more I can do. And maybe at one point in time, you were really like having a difficult time moving forward. Like actually saying, I have no other choice, but I have to take a step forward. And I think you're at the point here where you're at a crossroads and you're saying, I have to just chance and move forward. Even if I don't know what the unknown is, I have to confront this and deal with that decision, because the alternative here, I have nothing. It's just stagnancy. I'm just going to be there waiting, like waiting for what? There's no guarantee. There's no certainty. This person will have to sort of go through the deconstruction of whatever it is that they're having to work through here. And for a lot of you guys, it does seem like a family situation or a community situation that has to come down. you know? And it's like, so the only real decision, even though it looks like I have two, and I think you have been two swords about it for some time, which is like staying put, not moving on. Like, see if things will change. I'll just hang out longer, or I'll be like more courageous if I stay here, or like, even sacrifice maybe parts of my happiness here, waiting or waiting, in some capacity here. But it's like, I can't do that. If I want a new beginning, I have a choice to make, and I have to be courageous, and I have to confront the fact that I got to move forward, even if I don't know where it's going to lead me to. And I have to put this behind me. Okay. But I feel like part of you knows that there is a part of you that's going to remain sort of stuck emotionally on this experience. It's like, I can't forget, how this person made me feel. There's soul recognition here with this person. This person seems to be somebody here who's got you emotionally. And it's like, I still feel like my big worry is, am I able to fully move on from this experience, like completely forget about this so I can have a new beginning? I don't think you're there yet. And I think there's a lot of question around this. It's like, sure, I could pretend, sure, I could just take those steps, sure, I could just do the motions. But emotionally, there's this like, how would I ever completely release this person or release this experience, especially knowing that there's, if they were right about how they were thinking that you see them, that there's a possibility in the future that there would be a change. It's like, I'd rather just know it's over. I'd rather just know they're not going to end it, So I feel like you were really challenged with coming to terms with the ending of this thing, but it's like, you can't really have an ending knowing that there might be a possibility at some point in time to experience this person. And so this is the conundrum, that's the conundrum. And it's like, no matter what, this person isn't going to just say, yeah, it's completely a situation I'm never going to leave from. And then you're like, okay, maybe it's easier for me to make decisions based on this. But if this person's like, yeah, like at some point in time, it seems like someone in a marriage, I'll leave eventually, and here you are like waiting around, looking around. And it's like, it's just too painful. It's like now, because the pain is too much, it's like less pain in me just confronting my fear and making a decision to move forward and releasing this person, because I don't want to be stuck here. And who knows how long I'll be stuck here, hoping, wishing, dreaming of this person. It'll just be like a fantasy of mine that is just never coming true. And that it'll just always be like me hanging on to what they could be, or a past version of what we experienced. And that's all I get to experience from this person. A memory that comes, but I can't experience them in the physical. And it's like, I need something physical in my world here that allows me to have a new beginning that's real. Let's see. 3 of Wands. Yeah, I want to move forward. And I think your first choice would be like to move forward with this person, but it's like, obviously you can't do anything about this. And I think, like I said, you waited long enough. So it's like, how do I move forward? And how do I get excited about what opportunities are in front of me so I can move forward and feel like that is right for me? Like, I want to feel excited about moving forward and like opportunities in front of me, and like like that's desirable for you is to be able to move forward, but if you can't get yourself excited here, then what good is just doing motions? So we have the Atonement, and it is in reverse. So I think a part of you feels like this person needs to make things right, It's like, how could we ever make things right? Or will we ever be given the opportunity to make things right? Like, if I move forward, could we ever make things right again? Would this person ever come forward to right any wrongs here in some way, in this connection, or whatever didn't work out in this connection? If you move forward, I think that's your biggest hesitation. Yeah, 5 of Wands. And it is in a sideways position because, like I said, for a lot of you guys, maybe in the past, it was like feeling really, really stuck, feeling like you couldn't, It's like, I want to move forward, but I can't. Maybe I'll wait here longer. But I think now you're in an energy of like mustering your courage and saying, I must face what it is that has been very difficult for me to do, which is the truth about me just moving forward. No matter how conflicted I am. I think you're getting out of one heavy energy that was keeping you predominantly there and swaying more towards releasing and allowing yourself to have a new beginning, because it just feels a little bit more empowering to do this, So let's take a look at your shadow then, shall we? Now, like I mentioned in the other pile, this does not mean that this other person does not have a shadow, did not drop the ball, that they're not doing anything wrong, that even if you fix your shadow, they're going to heal. This is solely talking about what is being shown to you about your own shadow. Okay, now when I say shadow, it's something we don't recognize about ourselves that could be keeping us stuck in suffering. Something we don't recognize about ourselves that could be keeping us in a state that's more painful than need be, longer than need be. So this is just to bring something to your awareness so you can do what you want with it. Once you're aware of it, you can heal it. You can just acknowledge it. You can do whatever you want. You could justify it with your ego, why it's there, why it needs to stay there, whatever you want to do with it. That's up to you. Okay. But my intention is that you recognize what this is. And this is a cause of any sort of breakdown that you might be having in relationship, period, that you might not be aware of, okay? And others might see very clearly in you, by the way, okay? But you might deny this. So let's see. Sulfur, 29, or the number 11. And we have nature, mountain, seaside, forest, desert, garden, countryside, 19 and 1. Place and activity. Type 1, the perfectionist, the instinctive center between control and letting go. So I'm feeling Gemini, Virgo, and Leo from this. And we have 65 and 2, prostitution. Okay, don't take words literally here. I don't know what I'm covering up. Nothing. Collective plague, stress level. Degrading behavior, depravity, scam, pimping, belittlement, and manipulation. Type 2, the helper, emotional center between giving and receiving. Okay, so some Pisces and some Libra energy. And then we have means to an end attitude, 74. And the number 11 again. We have 1111. Like I said, some of you guys might resonate definitely with twin flame energy with the 1111. Very spiritual number. Okay, 11's a master number, divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going. Getting 6 swords from this energy, these 2 people in a boat rowing away. And then we have resistant. And then we have rejection. Though the sting of being left out, through the sting of being left out, we discover our own inner worth. Denial, dismissal, and exclusion. You guys had way more cards than any other pile here, by the way. Pride. True worth is measured by character, not accolades, arrogance, vanity, and ego. And we have surrender to rest and sleep. To prevent burnout, slow down, honor your need for quiet time. You guys had the hermit in reverse, by the way. And peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. And we have trusting. Today, I trust in God. No matter what happens, as my day unfolds, I will remember to remain in harmony. I will maintain my sense of humor, and I will keep my focus on God's love for me in these ways. I will minimize drama and increase my inner spiritual strength. There's that hermit energy. And we have attaining peace. Today, I turn within to find the source of my experiences. There, I find the peace that comes from seeking truth. I understand that the riches I discover within myself have a greater value than all the wealth of the outside world. Step by step, I continue my spiritual quest. Little by little, I free myself, rising ever higher and attaining true inner peace. Hermit energy with the inner peace. And here we have hopeless, written very faintly. Okie dokie. So let me channel what this is, beautiful people. Okay, I think you probably already know. So when you already know, it's not really in the shadow, but there are parts of this maybe that you're not fully aware of or in tune of, okay? Don't take any messages that aren't for you, okay? So I feel like the spirit is really talking about the heaviest part here. And why the heaviest part here, the part to carry, we don't need to carry, okay? And this is where your mind, aka the ego, the voice inside of you, It's really coming from a place of not wanting to be rejected and a sense of pride. We all carry this. And we can start to believe that voice. And what that voice is going to sound like is like a do or die, and like be trying to drive some of your actions and decisions and then justifying why that would be right. For example, I think the push-pull here could be an energy where we know we don't want to sell ourselves. Like we know, with this prostitution, it's like, I know I don't want to sell myself short, like that I am worthy of this. And no matter how much I know this, it's like, why would I ever put myself in a situation where I would be putting my life on hold or waiting for someone? Never, right? Obviously. But this is a sort of prostitution energy, because it's like I'm trading something of myself of value. And I don't want to do this, but why am I doing this then? Why am I doing this thing? It doesn't feel good. And it's, and Spirit is saying there's a release happening here through this experience, okay? This whole experience is getting you to understand yourself. And so there's a very spiritual with the 1111 here. Okay, there's a spiritual reason why this is happening. Okay, this isn't justifying that you deserve to be hurt or any of this stuff. Spirit is saying without this experience, you wouldn't have been able to find something within you that's still needing to be seen and understood by you. And it is confronted and battling this fear of rejection and pride that keeps coming through, that we all have. And so this voice could sometimes take the reign, like the strength card there that we were seeing, which is ego and pride. And it could want to make decisions that aren't in our greatest good. Like, I'll just wait here, or like, it'll show I care, or do whatever it does to hurt itself in some way. It hurt you by the actions it's doing. Okay. And it's really driving a need to protect itself, because it's like the immediate rejection I'll get, and having to sit there feeling not chosen, or feeling like I have to face something here. I'd rather just not face that thing, and keep some sort of hope alive, or go back to, I don't know, engaging with situations that aren't, like, this person is clearly unavailable. And you would have to dumb yourself down to the situation, water yourself, or hold out for who knows how long. And this isn't ideal in any way at all if we respect ourselves. And so there's something about sitting with yourself so you could fully respect and see the true value of yourself does not come from whether someone shows up or if they choose you, because it's like, oh, they're not choosing me. It's like, they're not choosing me, so therefore I can internalize this. And this is what's creating the push-pull or resistance to this moving on, like a clean break here. It's like sometimes you feel like I can't even break free. No, because if I break free here, it's like I have to accept the fact that this person didn't choose me, but it wasn't even a choice so much as it was this person is unable to deal with their situation, confront what they need to, nothing to do with choosing you. But the mind sees it very black and white. It's like, it's me or that situation. And now I got to sit with this rejection, and my pride can't take that rejection. My pride inside of me that says they chose something else, even if it was the dead spouse, even if it was something that's unpleasant, because remember, they're emotionally dissatisfied. So the worse off they are in a situation, it's like the harder it takes for us to accept this, because this must mean I'm really, really not good. I'm less than that, and which makes them happy. The ego's like, no. And so I resist this. Okay, and so Spirit is really sort of emphasizing here. That's like a look at it very black and white, a means to an end sort of attitude. Like, I stay here, and then it means I'm not rejected, and then this means that like I'm still engaged in this situation heavily. And so the ego still keeps that fantasy belief as the door open, rather than processing this, even if it feels like I got rejected, which it's not, by the way, but the ego doesn't want to process that. And so I'm really getting from this nature, like a natural progression here. A Six of Swords it's like saying we have to move through it. We have to move on from it. We cannot stay there. No matter what the ego says, many reasons it's going to use and the kitchen sink as to why we should wait or stay or work or whatever, why we shouldn't leave, or it's all prostitution. Okay. Prostitution meaning selling ourselves. And the most greatest value here, which you have is you. Okay. And at some point in time, you might have felt very helpless to this. Okay. Well, this actually says hopeless, but it's like, yeah, like there's nothing you can do. Helpless, hopeless, nothing you're able to do here in that situation, because you can't make someone's decision for them. And you can't look good enough to entice them any sort of way either. And then the ego obviously wants to like default it. Then obviously, then I'm like, it's my fault, or I'm not good, or I'm less than that, in which the thing is. And that is the thing that Spirit's saying is untrue. That's creating the suffering, the resistance to move on, is that belief itself. And once we see that belief isn't true, that's just ego, that's just pride saying that story, then we can say, no, it had nothing to do with how this person saw me, or how happy I may make this person or not make this person. It has nothing to do with that at all. And then we start to connect to something great within ourselves. And this gives us the strength. This will build where we feel helpless, hopeless. And Spirit's saying it takes some time. Because right when we sort of have this experience and leave, or decide that we are worth moving on and being happy, it's very heavy, it's very intense, and we might feel like I'm going to be stuck here forever with these feelings. It's like, no, over time, staying with the right decision, committing to the right decision, listening to your body, because I think your body is going to tell you. Is your body uptight? Is your body feeling tense? So this is talking about getting enough rest, getting enough sleep. This is really giving me like hermit energy, like being really able to meditate, be still, sit with yourself, sit with your body, sit with your feelings, acknowledge your senses, all 5 senses. What am I feeling right now? What am I thinking right now? What is my ego telling me that's not true right now? Am I in tune with it, or am I on auto program here in my mind, believing the story of it, and then feeling really tired at night, or feeling sad, or hopeless, Because if we let our mind sort of run the show all day, it's like we start to feel heavier than we need to. And so there's an addressing when the ego or the mind story starts to try to sell us an untruth, and then trusting in God's plan, trusting that moving forward is in my greatest good, even if it doesn't feel this way. Moving forward is in my greatest good. Why? Because you're deserving of, and I think you know this, of having happiness in the present moment, a partner that is engaged with you, experiencing everything you can possibly experience in the now, and it's being gifted to you by the divine. But we must shift out of this energy as spiritual growth. And I feel like this is about you healing this thing, going through this uncovering of this thing. And once you sort of strengthen this part within you that I feel was needing to be seen and strengthened, then it's like the work has been done. Yeah, then the work has been done here, You're being really called to take as much time as you need to be still and do the hermit's journey. This is going to naturally progress for you to develop your inner strength, to overcome the voice of the ego. And maybe the part that's like, oh, I wanted them to choose me or pick me sort of energy, And like I said, I think you know a lot of this already, but maybe when we're right in it, where we sort of default to the there's nothing I can do, or that this voice is loud, that we might have been conflicted with giving in to that which is less than what we deserve. It's like, oh, but I just want to immediately like feel welcomed. That's a means to an end. I just immediately want to feel like loved. So I'll put up with a scrap here. No. And it's like all of a sudden it's like pent up energy where it's like, oh, I just feel like I'm unloved or something. And then it's like we send a message, a drunken text. No. Okay, this is going to take time. And the only way to get in front of it is to, like I said, like recognize that little voice that's coming through here. And so, yeah, Spirit is assuring you, if you move forward and allow spirits to work with you, every day is going to unfold. Healing is going to happen. There will be ups and downs, but as we know, up, down, up, down. But overall, it's moving up. okay? Like moving up and out, moving forward, even if there are ups and downs. And the most difficult part is the part where we are stagnant and stuck, because I feel like then there's this sort of an energy where we experience what we don't want. The unpleasant thing happens, and it releases, and then it builds up again. And then it releases, and then it builds up again. And then we're sort of stagnant here, stuck in smelly situations, stuck situations that just blow up in some sort of way. Then we don't like it. It's like, I don't feel good about myself, or I feel like I sold myself, or like something, only because my ego was telling me like I wasn't chosen, or like I didn't want to feel rejected in that moment, or my pride kept me sort of engaged there, It's like the pride is doing the opposite here. It's making us feel unloved and hopeless, helpless here by staying in a situation, because it doesn't want to face a rejection, which is not a rejection, but it sees it as such. And so this is what's in the shadow. It's like, it's not a rejection. And me trying to maintain my pride so I don't look at it as a rejection is the thing we need to really face and see and deal with this thing head on. So we can release ourselves and free ourselves from this thing, this chain or whatever, and then allow ourselves to move forward and give ourselves permission and acceptance to rest, to not jump into anything else, to reflect, to heal, to let these thoughts sort of come up but not believe them, and then to trust where we're being led. Okay, beautiful angel, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Beautiful angel, pile number 3, you guys picked the Night Sun Tarot, and we're looking at the person on your mind. How is this person thinking that you're feeling and thinking about them and this connection, coming from their perspective? So it could be completely untrue, completely out to lunch, okay? Or it could be completely accurate, and you could be completely sort of out to lunch if they're observing something here in regards to maybe a part of your shadow that comes through that you're unaware of, okay? And then we'll be looking at how you're actually feeling and thinking, and then we'll take a look at your shadow, meaning what is it in regards to how you're engaged here that you might not be aware of, that's pushed through the shadow part of you that might not be helping the situation, circumstance. Okay, so this is a lot about your own energy rather than your person, so to speak. Okay, but we will start off with how this person is sort of thinking that you're feeling and thinking, so that you can use your intuition to know whether this is your pile or not. Don't force it to fit. And also, like I mentioned in the other readings, this shadow might be very, very difficult for us to see in ourselves and accept. That's why it's in the shadow. So you might say, that's not me at all. Okay. If we have that mindset, we might never see your shadow. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean take anything that's not yours, but we must have an intuition here. Okay. So either this sounds like your person is energy or not. This might sound like your energy or not. Use your intuition. Okay. If you resonate with this beginning part, this is most likely your shadow, unless, of course, the reading is reversed. Meaning, this front part is going to sound like how you think the person on your mind is feeling and thinking. If that's the case, then the back end is all about your person's feelings, thinking, and their shadow. Okay? I can't help how it comes through here. That's not up to me. That's up to Spirit. So, Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. The person they came here about. This is person thinking that pile 3 is feeling and thinking about them and this connection. Pile 3's person on their mind. What do they think pile 3 is feeling and thinking right here, right now, about this connection and about pile 3's person at this time? Thank you so much, spirits. Thank you so much, pile number 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. So we have the 3 of Wands revealing itself in reverse. We have the Ace of Swords clarifying Temperance in reverse, Sagittarius energy. And then we have the Queen of Cups, the bottom of the deck. I don't read bottom of the deck reverse. That's Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have the 3 of Cups clarified by the Temperance in reverse and the Ace of Swords. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, clarified by the 9 Cups in reverse. And we have 6 Swords in reverse. And we have the Hermit in reverse, clarifying the 3 of Wands. Alrighty, and then under this Queen of Cups, we have the 5 swords. I want to see under 5 swords, we have the 4 swords in reverse. Okay, let me just tap into this energy and see how they think, you feel, and see them. Okay, beautiful angel. Interesting energy. So for some of you guys, this could be a same sex, but that's not coming through for a lot of you guys. Okay, it could definitely be. And when I say same sex, I'm talking gender here. Before someone gets all, you said energy is not gender. In this case, I'm saying gender. 2 females. Okay, if you're triggered, bye bye, or stay, because this might be your thing to listen to. Anyway, it could also be talking about energy, which means 2 sort of passively people here, okay? Like passive, like like not in an energy to sort of make shit sort of happen here, because we're very passive and not dealing with things, okay? Which I think is mostly the case here. And that now this is coming as a download, okay? This person thinks that you are beautiful, caring, loving, giving, and have been, and that you're challenged right now by the situation. And you're challenged by the situation with this person because this person hasn't been showing up in a way here that is the same way as you, hasn't been stepping up, hasn't been your King of Cups. They see you as a Queen of Cups, like absolutely beautiful, okay? You might be a parent as well. Take that if it if that resonates and confirms this reading for you, okay? And if you're not, it's like this person could envision you as being the parent of their child. Like they see you in that energy, like being absolutely giving, loving, caring, and despite how this person's been acting, because I do feel like this person carries a lot of, I haven't been always in my best behavior. I've been making it very difficult for you to love me. And you need a break. You need some peace here, and it's like you see the great truth. And you see the great truth in me. And you see that I'm incapable of stepping up to be your half here, but that I am maybe a little more superficial, or maybe I'm only keeping us in friend zone here for the time being, or maybe I'm engaged in other things that aren't as important, rather than like seeing this connection and treating you with the importance that is required here. There's something about you knowing the truth, you seeing the truth, and this person sort of not doing it, It's like, we're more than friends, or that you require a greater level of seriousness or a deeper layer of intimacy here that I haven't been able to do. And yeah, for a lot of you guys, it's coming through this person could be prioritizing something else. It could be another person here with this Queen of Wands, but it doesn't have to be in the 3 cups, It's like other things are getting in the way. Other people might be getting in the way. Like my friend group is getting in my way, or my spouse, or my siblings, or my coworkers, or something like this. And it could be that this person is like allowing their own world to get in the way of this connection, and you see it. Some of you guys, this person could have an addiction to drinking or partying, overindulging in that sort of thing, partying with their friends, or like superficial things. And it's like they're stuck there, or have been stuck there, or this connection has been stuck there, and you haven't been able to engage with this person in a way that's deeper. And it's like, will this person ever move forward from here? Will this connection ever move on or expand? Will we take it to the next level, go from friends to lovers, or move from whatever stage it's at, going out, like partying, or like, will this person ever change? Will they ever get out of this energy? Are they ever going to realize the truth here? Are they ever going to understand themselves deeper than that in which they're seeing themselves, or even the situation? There's something here about needing to really slow down. And maybe you're in an energy here where this person is saying, you're ready to slow down. You're ready to maybe remove yourself from this situation so you can reflect, so you can heal from what has happened here from you, or that this person's made you unregulated in some way, that they've been the cause of your dysregulation, and that you've had a hard time or having a hard time sort of moving on from this person. Like, how will I focus on myself? How can I ever ground myself? How can I ever heal if this person is in this energy? Like, either I hitch myself to their sinking ship or their dysfunctional way, and then I get ungrounded, or I get dysregulated, or something about me having to be stagnant or stuck here in some way in their five swords situation, even if their situation doesn't seem like it's like combative, so much as it seems unregulated. It seems imbalanced. It seems like they might be focusing in on an area that it might just be like one area, like I just party, or I just like superficially focus on what's superficial, and that's it. There's something missing here. The other side of the equation is missing here with this person, and it's like, so what do you have to give to this equation other than just, like I said, hitching yourself to some stagnancy? And it's like, you might have called this person to action, or you might have pointed this out, or you might just know of a greater truth. It's like they know that you know of a greater truth, that with them you're stuck, with them you're stagnant, with them you're in that world and dysregulated and not feeling secure, and maybe just troubled, like troubled. And then the connection is troubled because of this lack of them seeing the truth or admitting some sort of greater truth. And despite this, you're still giving and loving, and you're beautiful, caring energy here, but how long will you be giving and caring here of this energy, especially if this energy makes you emotionally dissatisfied because this person can't be the other side of this equation, and that you feel like unappreciated here and not seen and not valued by this person. And so it emotionally isn't feeding you what you need. Yeah, and so this is how they see that you see it. And so let's see, how do you feel? Beautiful Queen of Cups, how do you feel? Spirit, clear and concise message for pile number 3. How are they actually feeling and thinking about the person they came here about in this connection and this situation? How is pile number 3 actually feeling and thinking about pile 3's person and this connection? What are their actual feelings and thoughts? Thank you, Spirit, for this message. So we have the 7 wands, and we have the star, Aquarius, and we have some toddies, Aquarius energy. How is pile number 3 feeling and thinking about this connection? So we have High Priestess, Pisces energy, and then it's clarified by the Magician in reverse, Virgo, Gemini energy. Why is this 7 of wands here, Spirit? 6 of Pentacles. And we have the Queen of Wands in the sideways position, which is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Oh, we have quite a bit there. I'm going to leave that there. Need one more for clarifying this High Priestess and this Magician in reverse. How is pile 3 actually feeling and thinking about this connection? We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. I'm feeling that one as well. The King of Cups in reverse. Very fascinating. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Judgment. And under that, we have the Knight of Pentacles. All right. We'll see these shortly, okay? Let me sit here with this energy and see how you're feeling and thinking. What's under Knight of Pentacles? We have the 10 of Cups. All right. Okay, it's interesting because I feel like this person might feel a little bit more like you're really at the end of your rope in some way, and you might be, but I think you have a little bit more fire maybe than this person maybe attributed to you. And what I'm saying by fire, it's like fire as in your fire is coming back to fight for what it is that you're wanting, and for some of you guys, it could be, what, I'm willing to invest and fight if this connection is one that still has hope, if you're still thinking that there's still hope here, that this person might just need a little bit more time. Some of you guys are like, okay, I'm willing to invest here still. I'm willing to give to this situation. I feel like you're seeing everything sort of as a whole and making a decision where you want to contribute, where you want to stay, and what you want to fight for. And for some of you guys, it is this connection. But I feel like for some of you guys, it's like, no. But I feel like for all of you guys, it's like a certainty that you're having about your happiness is what matters. Whatever you think your future is best aligned, that is what you're fighting for. And this person almost seems like you're like, I don't know, like rolling over, in some way, even though they're seeing you as the Queen of Cups. It's like, well, you're so like needing to rest, and you're like so like pulled into their chaos and like unregulated because of them in some sort of way, that they're like holding you in that way, and you can't break free, or like it's difficult for you to like be regulated without them. Meanwhile, this is like you have this fire saying, no, I can fight for what matters to me. I can point my nose in the direction of where I want to be for the future. I want to give to what it is, if it's going to make me feel valued and seen. I think where we're sort of sitting with some of us is like, am I actually going to be seen here for all my value? And I don't know, because some of you guys might be still contemplating. Like you're reflecting, you're thinking, like, does this person actually see that they could, like see my value, acknowledge me and my greatness in some way? Or even, am I in an ability here for me to manifest a long-term happiness for myself? What would that look like? What do I need to do? And how do I need to sort of stand and fight for this, or prove myself? Or where do I need to put the energy in order to get this? Like you're fully committed to getting a future you want, but I think you're not sure where you got to stand to do this. It's like, I want to slowly but surely work towards, no matter how long it takes, my emotional happiness. If this is in a relationship, then it's in a relationship. But what do I got to do today? What do I got to acknowledge to me? What do I got to fight for? What do I got to stand for? Where do I give to? And how do I move that forward? It's like, I don't want to give up on my vision. I don't want to give up on my dream. I don't want to give up on what I know could make me fully happy here. And I feel like for some of you guys, it is this connection, and you're intuitively sort of guided in this connection. You know that you're guided in this connection. You know there's something destined here. You know that you're healing, but it's like, but I still don't see exactly how it's going to get there. I don't know what it is that I can do. It's like, I don't feel like I have the ability or the power to do anything other than listen to my intuition. And my intuition says it's with this person, that I see a long-term here. But in this state, it's like, I don't know, they're not really valuing me in some way that maybe I think I need. But it's like, am I healing this? Am I healing this within myself? Am I giving to myself? Am I actually fighting for myself? Or was I trying to get this person to fight for me, or to make me of value, to make me feel like I am valued? Is this something I'm healing within myself here? I feel like what you are not doing, though, is like having to prove yourself to this person. I feel like you don't want to argue with this person. And I also feel like you are also seeing this person as somebody here who isn't comfortable with expressing their emotions, and they shy away from it. So it's like, instead of this person admitting how they feel and running with how they feel, they sort of block this out. And this was present by that 3 cups, keeping things light, keeping things sort of 3 cups. It's like this person isn't fully engaged with their emotions in this connection. And I don't know where it's going to go. And I don't know what I can do about this. Like, there's nothing I can do about this. And maybe some of you guys might even feel like this person is sort of controlling the narrative in some way that I don't know where it's going to go. because of the fact that they are holding their emotions to themselves. And it sort of feels like a controlling sort of energy in some way, because it's controlling the narrative or controlling the direction of where this will go. Like if this person is able to talk about feelings, or like, I don't know, like depending on how the future goes with this person and where they take their emotions is a big dictator of what's going to happen here. And so I think you're in the game, like in the game as in the future is still determined or undetermined here, but could still be written with this person. And that will determine where you want to invest. But I think you're all about, what is the truth? I want to see clearly. I want to understand things for what they are. And I want to align myself with my future that I'm intuitively called to. That thing is certain. That's what I want to fight for. But I don't want to have to fight to prove myself, and I don't want to stay in any situation where I feel unseen or unappreciated. That I won't give to. That I'm not going to just keep feeding. I'm not going to invest there no more or at all, because it could create this imbalance, and it could create a situation where this person is like breadcrumbing you emotionally here. And when you sort of need emotional support, this person's MIA or like ghosted. Like I feel like there's something about them not emotionally being available here. So let's see. Yeah, 4 cups, or emotionally feeling rejected, not satisfied. This person could have rejected you and is focused on the 3 cups. What doesn't matter? The sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever the 3 cups is. Other people, situations that aren't as important here. It's like, so I got to focus on my own Ace of Cups. That's what matters. That's what I got to give to. See my own value. If that means that that's my future, then is with myself, then that's where I row to. I think it's still being navigated. I think you're in this present moment dealing with a situation here that hasn't been very clear to you. And it's like, my priority is myself. And I'll leave this person sort of to their own vices. But if they show around here, then I'll engage with this person to have honest communications. But I think you're feeling emotionally not satisfied here, okay? 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, like it's not coming together. It's not manifesting in the 3D. So we're not collaborating, and we're not building the future together. We're not both equally contributing to build the third thing here. 2 of Swords, stalemate, stagnancy. This person could be fence sitting, like they're stuck here. And I'm not going to be stuck here, so I might as well focus on myself. I might as well give myself self-love. I might as well fight for what matters for me and invest maybe in work, maybe in other things you can give to. But I don't think you're blocking this person. I really don't feel you're blocking this person. I feel it's just this thing isn't developing as this person doesn't work with you. They're stuck in some sort of fence sitting here. Yeah, 10 Pentacles in reverse. So we can't build the 10 Pentacle. I think a lot of you guys are open to building with this person. And as far as you see it, the ball is in their court. And they're at a stalemate. And they're sitting here withholding. And they're not in a position to manifest with you a long-term physical 10 Pentacle. So build, I don't know, the dream family or commit to you long-term. There hasn't been any discussion about where we're going long-term. It's like they're still undecided. They still don't know. They still aren't showing up in this way. And it all is sort of withholding this from me, or keeping their emotions sort of tight here under lock and key. Okay, so we're going to take a look at your shadow. Okay, and like I say, the shadow is going to be difficult for us to know it's our shadow. Okay, so keep an open mind and don't take anything that it might not be for you at the same time. Okay, let's see. Pile number 3's shadow. Winter. 16. Tower energy. And we have insecurity. Your worth is intrinsic and unchanging. Doubt, uncertainty, and anxiety. And we have surrender your desire to control people. Being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. I think that's exactly the energy we were reading that you were in. I don't know how new that energy is, but that's exactly the energy that I saw that you were trying to incorporate. I am free. Today, I find the veil of my ego has lifted and a vision of my new life has appeared. Now I am focused on my inner growth. I listen only to the voice of my heart and remain steadfast in the energy of love that I find there. I am now free of duality, fear, and judgment, and I move forward on my path to inner peace. Interesting. Judgment was your final card there. Maybe the final stretches here of being free of the ego. Okay, and so we have failure. I don't know if you guys can see that. And we have bias, 49. Number 13, which is Scorpio energy. And we have 38 with flattery. And the number 2, excessive admiration, sweet talk, adulation, hypocrisy, seduction, and exaggerated praise. Type 2, the helper, emotional center between giving and receiving. Fixation, ego level. It almost looked like he was choking her. I'm getting some kinky stuff happening here. You might have some, S&M with your person. That's coming through for someone here. 22, the number 4. So 22 is a master number. Okay, peacemaker, diplomacy, healthy, energetic boundaries, and divinely guided relationships. Place and activity, ego level. Exhibition, it says workshop, opening, gallery, museum, showcase, artistic creation. Type for the individualist emotional center between lack and abundance with the number 4, which is Aries and more Scorpio energy. And then we have some Pisces, Libra here with the number 2. Okay, let me sit here with this energy and channel what this is. Okay, beautiful people. I feel like this pile, you have certainly done a lot of work on yourself. I really feel you have, The biggest thing here is if someone isn't in a position to choose us or to be in a certain way, it is no intrinsic reflection, or it is no reflection of our intrinsic value, okay? I think we know this, but knowing it is one thing. I feel like we really, really might have been at a time feeling very, very stuck, and almost even feeling like, like just having to go through the cold period, like feeling shut out, feeling rejected, feeling like emotionally depleted in some way here, where it just like froze out. And we could choose to get frozen, meaning bitter, angry, just throw our emotions away, meaning they're good for nothing here in some way, because you're a beautiful Queen of Cups. It could be like giving love and caring and compassion led to nothing except feeling rejected or ousted or not loved. That could be your speak, but it's not. Okay. And if it is, then it's definitely not the way that it should sort of go. And when I say should, it's like should to align with spirit, universe. Okay. That aligns with ego, feeling rejected and taking it personal and seeing it as like, it's the thing that's dictating my value. I'm a failure. Okay, I think we have to work through feeling like we were the reason why this person couldn't step forward or engage in however they were engaging. But this is definitely coming from a feeling of feeling insecure. Like insecure, like this person is making me feel like they're uncertain about me. So therefore, there must be something wrong with me. I'm uncertain about my value or how I could show up. And it's creating a lot of anxiety. I think you've been healing this thing, shedding this thing, working through this thing, looking at your own ego, detaching from this thing, like not needing anyone to show you up in some way. I feel with all this red here is talking about an abandonment wound in the root chakra is where we store a lot of the need to feel that in which we think another should give to us so we can feel secure. It's an abandonment wound that we've experienced as a child. And so someone else's acknowledgement of me can then give me security and make me feel safe and wanted and desired. We must cultivate that from within, And so I feel you're going from seeing from a dualistic sort of perspective out there. The world determines my value and dictates whether I'm valuable or not valuable, whether I'm this or that. And it's like, no, there's no more duality here. I feel like you're breaking free of this. Your understanding, your own inner peace comes from being content and centered and happy with self, finding fulfillment in self, not in other. Okay, in other means I'm just at the mercy of other people, whether they step up or show up or not, is dictating my happiness. And I don't want to be in that sort of arrangement, especially this experience has been one that's been very stuck, very emotionally cold to you, you know? And it's like, maybe you tried to get them to see you and like get them to see the light. And like all of this is like, I can't control other people, how they see me or what they can give to me or whether they're warm or whether they can even express their emotions. Because I feel like this is, yeah, like a block to emotions here is very stuck. And it's like, we could really take this as rejection. We could really internalize this, you know, as being, I failed. I can't get this person to acknowledge me. So I feel like you're a work in progress. I also feel like this is the divinely guided relationship. It keeps coming through. Divinely guided to experience so that you can overcome and be this work in progress, this masterpiece. The masterpiece is your authentic self coming online, which is free of ego. Okay, now we're never fully free of it, meaning it eradicates and it never comes through. It's like, no, but it doesn't control me anymore. I see the ego. The voices sort of aren't dictating my beliefs anymore. I don't believe what the ego is selling to me, and it gets more quiet. I see greater truth. This duality out there is going to reflect to me my value. It goes away. I no longer fear where other people might not approve of me or aren't showing love to me. It doesn't matter because my happiness is here, whether I'm under a tree, whether I'm sitting in my car, whether I'm taking a shit on the toilet, or whether I'm like in the middle of an intimate moment with someone else. It doesn't matter here because I am already centered to that in which is my divine essence. And so I feel like there is this healing that you're doing of a mindset that might have been leaning in towards seeing like a situation of preference. So this person could have been your preferred preference. Okay, with all this red, it could have been devilly too. Really hung up, okay, on this person. And you could be someone that's like, I need to get people approval or whatever person of the moment, you know, or whatever situation of the moment. I need to be the winner. I need to be the one that's approved or accepted, or I'm always the one that's chosen or seen or loved or whatever the thing is. And I think this person was your chosen sort of project, if you will. Okay. I don't think you were seeing them as a project, but it was like this person, it was the catalyst for you seeing this thing within you, because I don't think this person warmed up. I don't think this person warmed up to your ways of winning people over. And I think that you might have really sort of doubled down or like favored this person in some way to like have them choose you or I don't know, like make this thing sort of go away. So my insecurity isn't there. So I can see a different truth here other than the real truth and the only truth. And the only truth is that whether this person did love you, didn't love you, showed up, didn't show up, did love you but didn't show up, was holding their emotions, was engaged, not engaged, all of that stuff, which could fluctuate, by the way, absolutely has nothing to do with your freedom and your freedom to be at peace and your freedom to connect to yourself without it hindering on your happiness, being highs and lows, or you feeling like let down or like a failure or like pegged to someone's own fluctuations, you know, whether they chose you or didn't choose you. And I think this was quite the experience because I feel like there's been many different situations here within this dynamic that might be revealing to you different aspects of this. You know, like every experience you had with this person was like showing you a different side of you or a different understanding or a different engagement of you. It's like putting all these pieces together to say, wow, we were brought together for me to see something, you know, and I do feel like it is very highly spiritual. Obviously, like I said, 22 means divinely guided, but this purple here, I feel there's a spiritual lesson, but a spiritual connection that was really being rolled out, even with this number 11. Okay, or is this 11? Why did I think we had 11 here? This isn't 11, this is 13. I'm feeling a spiritual connection here, okay? And I do feel it's like we had to connect to the divine. We had to connect to our truth. We had to connect to our essence. We had to go beyond the 3D. The 3D would be this need for control, seeing things with their eyes, feeling like my worth is like based on this 3D moment. And if things are like cold and stuck, it's like, no, now I'm like incapable of feeling love or being loved or feeling warm. And so if we're defaulting to feeling rejected, cold, like a failure or something like this, Spirit is saying, are we doubling down here? Are we trying to then win over this person, because if we are doing that, then in the shadow, it's saying, no, it's really just the root chakra block here that's needing some form of validation, some form of appreciation or flattery from this person to soften this thing that's frozen, that wants validation, that seeks acceptance in some way. It's like, no, we got to find it within self. Okay. And we could think, no, I'm not someone who seeks validation. I don't seek validation at all. But then we had our eye on this certain person or a certain situation because it triggered a reflection of our inner wounding. So it could be, it's a parent that didn't show us that in which we're seeking in this person. So we could have a million people that we don't try to win over and say, well, I'm not a people seeker or a need for other people to validate me. I have this healed. Meanwhile, something within this person triggered something within the root chakra. It was a catalyst here because I feel it's very spiritual, something maybe that was very frozen within this root chakra and needs to be loved and accepted. And I was like, whoa, where did this come from? Where did this come from? I didn't even know that I had this insecurity or this need to prove myself or this need to win someone over in some way, or like, no matter what we could do, we can't thaw this thing. And Spirit is saying the way we were doing it, no, we couldn't, because we were trying to utilize someone else and like our fire for someone else or proving to someone else to thaw this. And Spirit saying, no, the only way this winter will ever shift is a gradual natural process. Okay, this spiritual thing, the gradual natural process of winter that turns into spring. Only the divine can control. We can't make winter go away. Winter goes away when it's time for winter to go away. But what we can do is sit and go through the process without suffering and without refusal and resistance and lies and all of this stuff, and stay here frozen and cold. We can connect and we can feel free during this process because the spring and the summer is coming. And I feel like the summer is coming because we're going to see wherever we weren't seeing. Once we see through duality, once we see through, we cannot control anyone else and how they feel about us and what they show us and what they don't show us. And it has nothing to do with our value. And I think what Spirit's also talking about is when we see this, and when we step back, when we don't need to control, there's going to be a shift here. Because I feel like if you are engaged in a spiritual connection or a divinely guided connection, the other person can sense a need to control. And this need to control scares people away who fear being controlled. I mean, no one wants to be controlled, obviously. And so this could keep this connection very stuck here, okay? So Spirit's saying, we got to bring in warmth. We got to bring in more flexibility, more water, but not like the Queen of Cups where we're pouring into someone emotionally, trying to de-thaw something in the root chakra, but being more like water, fluid in how we love ourselves and how we're sort of seeing that person and outside situation as one and the same with us. Letting go of the fears, letting go of the judgments. Like there could be a lot of judgment here. If this person doesn't say they love me, if they don't spend time with me, if they focus on whatever third party, it means that I'm not worthy. It's like, no, that's not what it means. It just creates anxiety and it creates these stories here. So don't fuel that story. It's a lie. Focus on the essence within you. That's what's going to free you here. Okay, not your situation, not controlling this person or how they feel about you or how they're showing up, because that's the part, how they show up has nothing to do with how they're feeling. We saw there were King of Cups. There's deep love from this person for you. In fact, this winter, this is water that's frozen. It's not earth energy, it's the water. It's just frozen. This person has deep, deep emotions for you. These roots are very deep as well. from this tree. I think there's deep emotions is frozen. This person has a difficult time expressing their emotions, and how they handle it is in a 3 cups or avoidant, distracting, whatever they're doing, things that don't matter, because this is how they deal with it instead of dealing with their emotions. This has nothing to do with you. In fact, like I say, this person has very deep feelings here for you, if I'm reading this right. All right, beautiful angel, this is your reading. I hope this helped you, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Beautiful angel pile number 4. You guys picked the Surrealist Tarot, and we're looking at the person on your mind. How does this person think that you feel and think about them and this connection? This could be completely out to lunch, okay, or it could be completely accurate, and maybe they're seeing through your own shadow here. I don't know, okay, but just know that it is coming from their perspective, okay, and then we're going to look at how you're actually feeling and thinking. And then we're going to look at your shadow, meaning what it is that you might not be seeing within what's driving your action in this connection. Okay, and it's going to serve as some sort of guidance or advice. Now, do keep in mind that your person could certainly be all riddled with their own shadow. Okay, this doesn't mean that they don't have shadow and you're the reason that needs to change or anything like this. This is solely talking about what's within your power to see and what's within your power to acknowledge, so that you can get more aligned with your truest self, so you can have more harmonious relationships. Okay, if this comes reversed, then this is going to be how you see, how you think your person is feeling and thinking. Okay, and then the back end is going to be their shadow and their feelings. So if it comes flipped, then it comes flipped. Nothing I can do about it. Go check out another pile. Okay, Spirit, pile number 4. Person they came here about. How do they think pile 4 is feeling and thinking about them at this time? Pile 4's person they came here about. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest, highest good of pile 4. Thank you so much, pile 4, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed. Person you came here about, and how do they think you're feeling and thinking about them and this connection at this time? Interesting how they're coming out. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm getting a really weird head rush. That was weird. Felt like I was underwater. Knight of Cups, underwater. Knight of Cups. Okay, that's how we express love. 9 cups, more water. Wow, lots of feels here, you guys. Knight of Cups, 9 cups, and then we have the King of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Death in reverse, Scorpio energy, and then the Ace of Swords in reverse. Interesting. Then we have the 6 of Swords, and we have the Queen of Cups. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, clarified by 9 swords. Oh my goodness. And then we have the Empress, which I need to cover up. Taurus, Libra, and then we have the 5 of Cups, and then we have the King of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. Okay, lots of court cards here. Let me tap into this. What's under 9 cups? The 2 swords, and it is in reverse. All right, give me a second. Okay, fascinating. We have 2 kings, and we have an Empress and a Queen. Some of you guys could be in a third party, but it doesn't have to be the case, okay? Because we could definitely be pulling on many aspects of each of you guys in this connection, okay? What I'm really getting here is this person is seeing you as somebody who knows what you want. And it's like, you know what you want, and you're not afraid to invest emotionally in what you want, show what you want, and move towards what you want. But they do see that maybe the energy that they're in, and you could flip this, by the way, okay? The energy that they're in is somebody here who's having a very hard time accepting some form of truth in regards to letting something go or releasing some part of their past, and they're still involved in past world, and it's like it's impacting their investment of how they're engaged with you, or how they can come up with some sort of game plan here, some sort of vision as to where they want to go with this connection. For some of you guys, this person could definitely be in a situation with like the mother or their parent, a family situation, maybe even a sibling, their mother or something like this, the mother of their child. Doesn't have to necessarily be the case, and this is creating a lot of strain here in this connection, or a lot of anxiety for you, and that they think that you're having a lot of anxiety about having to move forward while this person sorts through their shit, their situation, and that they're trying to release a lot of the past, and that they're going through transformation, and that they are fired up about these changes, and that they are the type of person that can work through a lot of this stuff. It's not like they're just not doing anything, like they're not inspired to do this. That that they're inspired to change, that that they're inspired to leave the past behind, that they might just not see a way out right now, or they might have not have fully communicated this to you, or they might have not have made it fully clear to you that they have intention on leaving the past behind or working through it, but that that this person is in a position to want that and is working sort of through this, although they haven't fully cut themselves out from that past, because the past seems to have a hold or the attention of this person. It's like, my attention is being held up here by this. And so according to this person, you have a lot of anxiety about this, and you might have a lot of thoughts about this, and it might be the strain of this connection. And it's like, we have to move forward from this energy if we want to have happiness. Like, in order for you to be happy, I have to break away from this situation or circumstance that might be over in my world, but has a hold of me. And this person also is like thinking, and this could definitely be like a projection. It's like, if I don't have anything change in my world, or free myself of old ways of being, or like things that I'm used to in my world right now, if I don't become honest or clear or deal with them or cut things out, or I don't know, like release myself and then be completely dedicated and committed to a vision of the future, it's like it's only going to lead in sadness and disappointment here for you. And like that, that this is truth, that this is my understanding. Like, my understanding will be that this will be a big disappointment, or that I would just disappoint you or let you down. So this past must be transformed in a way, and released and dealt with. And that's where my energy is. And I'm like passionate about it, or at least showing to you like I'm invested in that. And that's where my energy is going. And so even though you might not like this, or again, like it's the cause of your stressor here in this connection, it's like you're strong enough to understand this, and they see you here as beautiful, loving, compassionate energy, like caring, emotional, in a way here that is still available and compassionate, and still able to provide for yourself despite having a lot of anxiety and maybe a lot of anxious thoughts about, but what if, like what ifs, and how's it going to go, and this sort of thing. But you're still emotionally invested. You're still emotionally mature about it. You're still emotionally there for them. You're still in that energy. It's like, it almost feels like an unspoken, me, why I'm doing this. That I have an understanding that it would be disappointing if you stayed in a situation that I didn't resolve, or that if we came together when it was premature, or if I brought in any of this past into this connection, or leaked it in without resolving it or dealing with it, without completely detaching from it, it would lead to disappointment. This. And you want happiness, and I want to show you happiness. I want I want to be available to give to you. I want to be happy too. I want to be emotionally happy here with you. That's my understanding. I don't want the past here sort of contaminating our future. But I don't know, is something about they didn't make it clear, or they didn't make it understood, or they don't maybe see how they can do this yet, or I don't know. It seems like there isn't an answer on how to break free, or they're still involved in the past, but it's like something that should have been over already. Like, are they having a hard time cutting out the past, being honest about this, or being clear about this, or being certain about how to do this? But it's like, but I'm fired up about it, all right, and I'm going to make it happen. But it's like, okay, but you don't see a way through, or you don't understand, or you couldn't communicate. And it's like, nope, but I'll get there, I'll cut it out, and then I'll move towards you, or then we'll move together, or then we'll just leave the past behind, and all our worries will be in the past. But it's like, but there's 5 cups here. And so it's like a disappointment. It's like, I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want to experience disappointment in the future. So it's like preventative measures. The King of Cups in reverse. A lot of energy here. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So it's like emotionally, this person isn't in a position to experience this connection on your level, is what it feels like. And so it's like, I'm going to come around. Maybe they feel like, okay, they come around to give you love, but it's like, that's it. It's like, maybe they just show up and like, it's like it fulfills them emotionally to experience you, because it feels like you're giving them love. They're experiencing love, but it's like they're invested in releasing or dealing with something of the past here. And I don't feel they're emotionally attached to the thing of the past, but that they're working through it. And this is causing a lot of anxiety. It's like, I know you love me, or like, oh, why are you only in it emotionally here, but you're not giving any long-term vision, or like, I don't know. It seems like they're in 2 worlds here, is what it seems, with this 2 swords in reverse. So I don't know. This energy is very tricky for me to read. Let's see how you're actually feeling then. Okay, so this was coming from their perspective. Let's see, how is pile number 4 actually feeling and thinking then about the person on their mind and this connection? What are their actual feelings and thoughts then? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 4. What are their actual thoughts and feelings for the person on their mind then? How is pile 4 actually feeling and thinking? Knight of Cups in reverse. The Knight of Wands, clarified by the Fool in reverse, Aquarius energy. How is pile 4 actually feeling? The Emperor, Aries energy. Why is this Knight of Cups in reverse? The Tower. What is this again? The Knight of Wands and the Fool in reverse here. 3 of Swords in reverse. And why is this Emperor here? Why is the Emperor here? 5 of Swords in reverse. And then the bottom of the deck is 2 of Wands and then 2 Swords and the Moon in reverse. It feels like a disconnect from what they're thinking and you're thinking. Let me see. Maybe that's why the Ace of Swords was in reverse. It's like they haven't shown you or told you. They just assume you know. Okay, let's see. 2 Wands, 2 Swords. I think it's pretty clear cut for you. I think you're seeing it more factual, It's like the proof's in the pudding. That's kind of how you're seeing it, because I feel like you're seeing it as if this person is in another situation. It's almost like then that means you have a choice to make. Is that clear cut for you? It's like, I don't want to be at a stalemate. And you might have been there for some time, because I feel like there might have been a lot of confusion with this person for some time. You're getting out of this confusion. You're actually seeing that you do have a choice. It's like very clear to you, or at least it's becoming very clear to you from navigating uncertainty and stalemates and stuckness and this person's inability to be concise or choose you. It's like, okay, I have a choice to be made. Because what you're seeing is that this person actually isn't available as they think that they are. And it's like eventually this person will have to deal with my decision. And my decision is to explore outside of what I have experienced here, because all I'm really experiencing here is confusion, uncertainty, maybe withholding of emotions from this person. And maybe I was preventing a three swords, from this person experiencing a loss, me leaving this person, a separation, or me experiencing a three swords, which has kept me staying put. But that inevitably there's going to be a need to shake things up. And the shaking things up will be a choice that I have to make, which will most likely be to choose another one. And if this person isn't ready to take a leap of faith or drop their baggage of the past and explore this connection, then I'll have to take the power in my own hands. And I'll have to get out of this situation because I don't want to stay in a situation that's conflict. It's like their world, their issues, their past, their whatever is creating conflict between me and them if I stay there, because it's going to be me versus their past and their decisions and their two swords and their stalemate, and my own needs are getting not looked at. And I feel like you might have been there nurturing this person with that Empress and that Queen of Cups, putting them together or nurturing them while they were working through their past, the Death card, and navigating through releasing and changing and transforming. It's like, I don't know, you're sort of there bandaging them or keeping them together. And it's like, I need to get out of this situation and be empowered to make my own decision to explore outside of where you haven't yet explored outside of, because I think you've been committed to this connection. And you're saying, well, if this person can't leave the past behind and take a chance on this connection to actually say, okay, the past is done. I'm going to explore this connection. I'm going to step up. Let's leave the past behind and let's move forward. I'm going to press past my fears. I'm going to press past my uncertainties. And this shakeup, like this change, if this doesn't happen, it's like, well, then you have no choice but to choose another choice. One choice is staying there, experiencing what you have with this person, which doesn't feel like it's going anywhere according to you. Or the other option, which is to break yourself free and only through not just listening to your emotions, with the Queen of Cups. And like, even though you're an Empress there, it's like you might have been very empathetic and sympathetic and compassionate and forgiving and accepting and healing and, trying to work with this person during a period of time where it seemed like you put yourself in the back burner, or like you were there for them. But it's like, I need to be here for myself. I need to step out of my emotions, or at least enough, regardless of how I feel about this person, to make clear-cut decisions that in the past were keeping me stuck on them, or keeping me in the fog, or keeping me in uncertainty, because this person hasn't made things clear. And maybe they haven't made things clear about where you stand or what they want, or where their future is going to head when they deal with the past. And something about maybe not getting the emotional support you need here, And maybe this person feels they're giving you some form of emotional support that's not coming. It doesn't seem like you have it here. And you could have been processing a broken heart already. Like, this to me feels like, I don't know. Some of you guys could have been married. We have the Emperor and the Empress in the other round. It could be a partner that you've married, could be divine counterparts. But I feel like this is giving me a husband and a wife that's been together for some time, trying to work things out. And the wife is like mourning the relationship while she's in the relationship. And then it comes to the point in time where she's like, I'm already over it, So it seems like I'm already over it. I'm moving on. So like, I already healed what it would be like to be apart from you. I've already dealt with this. I had to, in order for me to get empowered to make a different decision. Otherwise, I'd be staying here stuck in a dead end sort of situation, because it feels to you like it's like it stops short here. And not only does it stop short, it could turn into something that's, going to deplete you in some way, or like conflicting in some way. It's like give, or like put up with, or like not experience a certain depth of something here. and staying there for who knows how long. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Like, I got to do something here. And only you could do something here. And so you're aware of your decisions. You're aware that you have skin in the game. You're aware of you can strategize to make moves and plans. And that doesn't mean that you're hateful or hurtful. It just means that you got to sort of make decisions that empower you, that are different than this sort of thing here. But that there will be a tower when this happens, because this person might experience loss. They might experience devastation here. Maybe you know this. It's like this person might, because when I picked up their energy, they feel like there's this grand plan, but it's like you're not in the know of the grand plan. So you're just like, okay, you're not filling me in on the grand plan. And then you go and they're going to be like devastated, like, no, there was this big plan. It's like, well, how was I supposed to fucking know? So let's see what the shadow is then with this pile. This is an interesting pile. We're looking at your shadow. Sorry, your shadow. That's funny how I said it. Like with this pile, we'll see. This is supposed to be your shadow, okay? So this is very difficult for us to identify our own shadow because we don't see it, so we don't know it exists. And we might say, no, that's not me. Okay, if you resonate with that, most likely this is your shadow, unless, of course, it comes completely reversed and it's your person. There could be mirroring as well. But let's take a look, okay? So we have spring. Interesting. Winter came out for pile number 3. So we have 17 with spring, Aquarius energy, and Leo energy coming through. And then we have the Great Serpent, number 45, or the number 9. And then we have resistance. Go with the flow and be open to life's changes. Opposition, refusal, and denial. Interesting, because I feel like this is flowing out of this sort of energy. There does seem to be some sort of flow here. Surrender stress. Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to your center. And we have return to the inner temple. Oh, return. Look at this. Interesting. Return to the inner temple. It says, today I rediscover my inner self is sacred silence. This is the inner temple in which I am able to calmly study the lessons life has provided me. Here I regain my sense of tranquility. I retrieve my trust in the universe. Bathed in the light of my inner temple, I now remember the value of each and every step of my life. Wow, that's profound. And then we have unsafe. Oh my goodness, look at this card. And then we have avoidance, 18, moon energy. And then we have autism, 59 and 5, mental tendency, stress level, turning inward, schizophrenia, isolation, distance, introversion, and confinement. Type 5, the observer thinking center between interior and exterior. And we have 101, serene love, healthy love, growth level. It says peaceful love, tranquil love, trusting love, quiet love, happy love, and cloudless love. Cloudless love. Type 1, the perfectionist instinctive center between control and letting go with the number 1. Okay, let me channel this. Remember, don't take words literally. This seems very interesting here. Let me see what comes through, okay? Very fascinating because this back end was definitely supposed to be your shadow. I feel like there could be heavy mirroring going on here because I am feeling this could be relevant for you and the person you're dealing with here, okay? Now, take it as confirmation for some of you guys. There could be someone in your world with autism or your person's world. Could be you or your person. Could be someone around you as confirmation here. But what I'm really getting is because it seems extreme, this isolation, this distance, this introversion, this confinement is coming through as this avoidance. It's very strong here. Okay, could be borderline autism, could be someone misdiagnosed. Maybe they don't know they have autism. Okay, but I'm not diagnosing anyone here through this channel. Okay, but it's the energy that I'm picking up here. Okay. But that could be what I'm really feeling is like that would be your person or the person that I channeled as perception at the beginning. Okay. But I am feeling that there is an avoidance here of your energy. Of course, if we're reading it the way that I intended on to be read, you could flip it. There's still an avoidance on both sides here. Okay. So what we're working through here is we avoid certain things that make us feel uncomfortable. Everybody does this. And we might not realize all the areas that make us feel uncomfortable, you know? And it could be the slightest movement of someone, and we read into it like that it means something that it doesn't necessarily mean. Why do we do this? Because our body is very in tune. As a child, what we experience is unsafe. And so we begin to read those signs, in people. It's like, I have to be aware. I have to be alert. My life depends on it. If I don't understand my situation, especially if it's a caregiver, it could mean life or death for me as a child. I don't eat or I won't have a parent, And so it's very profound. And so when we grow up, it's not a life death situation, but it sure feels like it. And so we have to become very in tune with people and reading people. And so if this person just twitches funny, oh no, my life is most likely unsafe, or it might mean this or it might mean that. Now I avoid it because why? Because something gets triggered within me. And you would think, okay, like I'm going to confront it, but no, we default to what we did when we felt safe as a child. Where it's like, maybe if I don't look at it, it doesn't exist. Maybe if I act better, maybe if I pretend, this, that, or the other, or if I like stay in some sort of illusion or fantasy or just ignore it in some way. Whatever it was that we did as a child, it might have made us sort of get through it. And this is the coping way that we learned. But then we feel more isolated, unseen. And it's like, why does no one see me? Why can I not be seen? It's like, I feel very removed, not understood. And so this turning inward is like, we shut down. I feel there's a shutting down here. Okay. And I do feel it's being mirrored here, maybe in different ways, but I'm going to read it. That part being like your shadow is like, what you're having to work through here is trusting in love, trusting in other. Again, not from this hyper awareness place. And I think this is what's healing within you. I feel like there is this like rigidity of needing to feel safe, and that's when the resistance kicks in. It's like, if I don't feel safe, I resist it. If this is going to go in a direction that is like flowing in a certain way where I'm predicting it's going somewhere where I don't want it to go just based on my reflexes and my reaction, then I might shut it down. I might get triggered into this sort of shut down energy, this avoidance energy, and then I resist what's happening here. Okay, and I feel like this is what is being worked through. I feel both people in this situation are working through their avoidance tendencies. And I feel like both of you guys are softening up to each other. I feel like there is this through a process of understanding and through a process of actual love. We learn about ourselves. We learn about other. We learn that we could trust. We learn how it is to trust love, how it is to experience peace. Because I feel like there's a lot of stress when it comes to the body, the pain body, the past experience that triggers this sort of pent up energy within. Okay, that creates this sort of fight or flight. And so Spirit is saying, like, before the experience happened as a child, or before that energy got fragmented or traumatized or experienced that in which it responds to, there's a need to go back to the pure self. Okay, she's wearing this beautiful white dress. For me, white is all about the pure self. And I'm getting same sex here. Okay, it doesn't have to be. I don't know if that came up at the beginning of this one, but I am feeling something about same sex. You're seeing two females here. Okay, but it just could be the feminine energy in both, okay, are needing to be purified here. How I receive love and give love right now isn't in a flow state. In spring, the emotions are melting. The water that's frozen is melting. It's flowing now. It was stuck. It wasn't allowed to flow. And what's flow? Giving and receiving. Flow state. Not taking and keeping, and not over giving, but a flow state. Water flows. And I feel like if we have any trauma when it comes to not feeling emotionally safe in our environment, we take and we keep, or we withhold, we shut down, we turn inwards, we internalize, we're not available. And I feel like for this energy, I feel like we don't feel safe with this person when this person isn't available to emotionally express or invest. And then we could create all sorts of stories of why this connection might be unsafe, or why we might have to refuse it, or why we might have to shut it down, or whatever the story speak goes. And I think Spirit is saying, no, this is about connecting back to the pure essence of self. It's showing us ourself. It's allowing emotions to flow again, for us to feel safe to give love without feeling anxious about what we're seeing with our eyes that are reminding us of maybe some experience of the past that made us feel threatened, because I feel like it's exaggerated, you know? So yes, maybe there are situations where this person might, I don't know, like not say the thing or do the thing exactly right. But like I said, it's exaggerated here because I think it's like not say a certain thing or move a certain way or not acknowledge a certain thing. And then it's like, whoa, I'm like seeing the worst in this situation. It's unsafe. It's more threatening than it is. But that's moonlight energy. That's the inner child talking. That's the child that felt abandoned, that saw these as big red flags. It's a fight or flight. And Spirit's saying, whoa, return to the essence first. Be reborn here. Be in that essence and that presence first. Let the wintertime thaw before we can actually make a judgment about what's actually happening in this situation or this connection. Because we could be prematurely seeing something, projecting something, it's bad. This person isn't emotionally available or giving or something like this. And maybe they're not. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're completely avoidant here, But I don't think this person is like abusive in a way here, or in a way that's actually this threatening. I think the mind and the shadow is seeing it as this unsafe. Meanwhile, it might just be somebody here who might be a little inconsiderate, and I'm not downplaying it. If this person is abusive and shutting you down in a way here that is not coming from the shadow part of you of projection, then this isn't your reading. Then get out of that. Get to safety, I'm talking about us building monsters out of situations that are bigger than they actually are. And we do this to protect ourselves, And if you know for a fact you're not doing this, like you really know you're not, and your person is completely, and they could be completely avoidant, but you feel like this person is maliciously sort of withholding here to keep you feeling and suffering, then I don't think this is your pile. I think this is about you sitting with that shadow saying, am I actually seeing monsters in the dark about my person? Can I see my person as maybe they are avoidant here in a capacity because they've also been hurt? They also might be internalizing certain things. And when I say a certain thing, when I reject them in a certain way or say something, they might be internalizing it. And then it creates this cycle. I reject them, they feel hurt, and then they do something, and then they move funny, and then it rejects me, and then this is what I feel. Meanwhile, it's like both of you guys feel a lot of love for each other. Both of you guys need to understand how to flow, give and receive, both sides of it, flow and giving and receiving, But I feel like there's hesitation. There's like blocks here when it comes to trusting each other. Because it's like, whoa, what if this person like does me dirty? Can I trust them? Is this pure? Will this make me happy? It's like, it will make you happy. It's not making you happy now because we're healing the unsafe part that is within us, or that at least is seeing it as more unsafe than it is. Because I think what Spirit is saying is once we get centered, meaning we see clearly where the wounding happened, that there are no big threats, that this person isn't threatening anything, and that my emotions can be felt within me, pure. I could feel whole. I could feel loved within me. Then this person wouldn't seem as threatening. Then their avoidance wouldn't seem as triggering. And then my actions wouldn't perpetuate any sort of resistance to them or to the situation or make it more difficult, There's like this perpetual dance I feel here of the two of you guys. And it could spin out of control very fast, like feeling rejected by one and then the other. And then it sort of spirals on both sides in some way. And so Spirit is saying, like, do not feed the nine swords anxiety, because that's coming from thoughts where we monsterize certain situations that might be triggers that are actually not made to resist or run away from, but to actually look at clearly, rather than like the shadow and the fear and prop that up and then internalize it and sit there feeling distant and abandoned and isolated and alone. We might really overthink this, with this autism, like really get in our head about it and analyze like the slightest little response. Why didn't they text? Why did they respond that? Why they had 2 periods instead of 1? Meanwhile, it was a typo. Okay, and if we're too much in that, we see that everything is threatening. Spirit is saying working through this is allowing ourselves to feel, but not getting trapped sort of in the mind monsters, and let ourselves like be honest with the feels and let it flow. Let it flow to the other. Let it be shown by example, without the threat of feeling like, oh, I'm going to be without in some way. That's scarcity and that's lack. And we're seeing it as them versus me, as this like opposition here. It's like, no, there's no you and them. And so I think you might be refusing this person's avoidance as something that's like, no, I don't want to deal with someone's avoidance. Like their issue is like needs to be healed, or like refusing something. And Spirit saying, don't refuse anything. Now, of course, this doesn't mean put up with abuse and do all this stuff and be a doormat. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. What I mean by don't refuse, it means what you resist persists. What you don't want to see, you push up against it and you keep alive. This is acceptance. When we love something, we accept it as it is. We understand why it is the way it is, even if it's challenging. It's like, I can see it for what it is. I can accept it for what it is. And when we do that, we sort of let go of this fear story that drums up, and then we can make more concise decisions, whether we want to stay there. We could see it clearly. We don't see it as this big threat anymore. And it's like, no, I can support my person maybe differently. It's like, if I got to stay in a room with someone feeling like this, I can't. I got to get away. But if the truth of the matter is that the person isn't like this, they're more like this, or maybe not even. Maybe they're just like one tooth, But I see this. It's like, I can't stay there. I'm going to react a lot differently. If it's one tooth, it's like, maybe I can like understand it, even though the tooth doesn't feel good, you still get bitten. But it's like, it's okay. Like, it's okay that I can understand, that people are hurt, and I can, maybe my tolerance of understanding is a little different here. Like, that's truly understanding and accepting and having some acceptance and love, rather than it being like protecting ourselves from this place of feeling unsafe. Yeah. So this is your reading, pile number 4. I hope this helped you. I love you guys very much, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.